There's Rodney. What's going on, buddy?
How's it going?
Man, I'm good. I'm good.
You good? Man, I haven't seen you all day. You know, we were hanging out yesterday, but today you had your welding mask on, you know? Golly.
Yeah, I've been busy, involved in some extracurricular welding activity.
You call that burning rod? Is that what that is? Is that what you call that?
Yeah. Burning rod, melting rod. Yeah. What's up?
Oh,
Jim Lauer.
Cool.
What's going on, Jim?
Glad to see that little comment come up.
Oh, me too, man. And that's from the Facebook side. So
yeah, there you go.
Whatever kind of technical stuff we had going on last week was out of my hands. I did a test. Everything was good. So I'm going to say Jim was first. Tony Phillips. Hello, gentlemen. He says, hey, Tony, and the Phillips crew. Maybe the whole crew is watching with you.
Yeah.
Zach West is watching. Tony Whitmore. Hey, Tony.
Man, we got to circle back to Tony Phillips watching, because yesterday you were in my shop and you pointed something out to me. I got the CEO in house.
Hey,
right?
Yeah.
Goose is on my wall. I didn't know it until you pointed it out.
You know, Goose, now that I've been paying attention, he's in a lot of places. I mean, if you look at the background of photos at the racetrack, the starting line, whatever you want to look at, man, he's in a lot of pictures.
I know it.
And
I got that bright orange on, right?
Golly, I seen some more looking at John Hurd stuff, man.
Man, I tell you what, when you said that, you're like, hey, there's Goose. I'm like, what? You know,
it is Goose.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, it is him. Holy cow.
Yeah, that's and awesome. Jason Brown was in the other lane, and Tabitha was over there. And
there you go, man.
It's different, though. You know, now we know these people.
Right. Yeah. And that day we
know who they are.
The kids from Kansas trying to figure out what's going on.
Russell Foreman is watching. Hey, Russell.
Foreman, Billy Page. What's up, Troy Aves?
There's Mr. Scott Linker. What's up?
Man, Scott Linker's been working on his house. You see that? They redid the whole season.
That, man. You know what I don't like doing?
What?
I don't like working on my house.
Oh, no. Well, just right. We call Travis Rupert and say, "Hey, come here."
Oh man.
Yeah. That's what you do.
Yeah, I'm not a house fixer upper. I'd probably be financially ahead if I knew how to do that and had the skill and did that as a side gig instead of this welding crap.
Money you could have a big block in LS if you did that.
Gee whiz. I could have me a Pro Mod Ford.
Yeah. I see Shelly and Kurt watching. I see Tony Whitmore commenting.
Yep. Eric Summer is watching. Russell says, dude, this makes me feel so good and so happy to see comments on the right side of this.
I know, man. Gary wasn't sleeping on last week, guys. I'm just here to tell you right now.
Dude, that bugged me so bad. It's like, I don't know. I can't explain it, but I'm so glad there's comments over there now.
I'm glad you got it fixed.
Woo! Okay. Yeah. Man, I'm excited for our guest tonight, dude.
Oh, I know, right? Another Missouri boy, right?
Oh. Yeah, man, this cat has been around racing a long time. I can't wait to hear his racing stories.
Yeah, you know, Russell Foreman's up front with the popcorn because we got a Nitrous guy on. You know?
Oh, yeah. He's probably in his skirt and his pom-poms and woo, go John Hurd, go John Hurd.
Nitrous in the front.
Yeah. Russell, if you're doing that, please send us a picture.
Oh, yeah. What's going on, Mr. Larry Hunt?
Larry Hunt, what's up, buddy?
Oh, man. Larry, just so you know, hang tight. We were talking to Hurd during the pregame show, and we were talking about limited. He's got some questions. So, because he wants to play too, but you guys are hard on him with that Nitrous stuff. So we'll see.
Yeah, and he brought up a very good point that we'll talk about later that I never thought of, and it's a very valid point.
Yeah, 2 points I think he brought up.
Yes. Yeah. Julia Brown is watching. Hello, Julia.
Hey. Speaking of Brown, I don't know if Devin's on, but I guess we can officially say it, right? Congratulations.
Yeah. I got a little clip of that to put up.
Yeah.
Yep. Larry says John Hurd, the godfather of the Guerrilla Flames.
If you don't have 3 feeders, don't even bring it. You know what I mean?
Does that mean your tune-up is good? Is that what the Guerrilla Flames mean?
What does it mean if it's blue or orange? Is there a difference there?
Man, I don't know. I'm going to have to Google that.
Yeah.
Well, hey, we'll have to ask John.
Yeah, we'll ask you.
Scott Linker is, I am excited for DJT. That is Donald J. Trump.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
There you go. I believe you're right.
Right on.
45, man. He had his head to the good side, luckily.
Woo.
No, that was
Yep.
just 2 inches to the right. Man.
So close. Paul Pattinson watching. Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Man, Paul, we were talking about you on the road trip yesterday.
We're like, anybody talk to Paul?
Yeah, right. Hey, there you go. Throw Julie up there. You see that?
Yep. Julia Brown, she says, thank you. We're excited to add another racer to the group.
Whoop, whoop. They already got a junior dragster ordered. You know what I mean? That's what's
really
going on.
You think?
There.
I think you're going to go right into a 10.5 car.
So, we knew about it last week, but we didn't want to step on anybody's toes. So we kept it to ourselves for a hot minute, which I think was the right decision.
Yeah.
You know how people feel.
We talked about it a little bit. And it's like, well, they haven't said nothing. Let's wait because.
Hold that.
And then they did. Yeah.
We're excited for the whole Brown family there.
Yeah. Let's do this real quick. This little arrow. You're going to see this. If you see the little white dilly bopper in the right-hand side that this arrow's pointing to is the subscribe box. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now.
There we go. Lock it in. We're growing every week.
This arrow says the same thing. Don't hit the big red subscribe dealy. Hit the little deal on the right-hand side. This is just a graphic.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look at Russ Foreman. He says, flames make everything cool.
Gorilla flames make everything cool. There aren't flames good for cooking hot dogs and steaks?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. Speaking of food, golly, did you see oh God, what's his name?
Kenny Hubbard.
Hubbard?
Yes, dude.
Every day he's showing off all this food he eats, man. Is it Christmas over there every day? Anniversary, birthday? Man, I'm over here at PBJ, you know what I mean?
Oh, I know. Ramen noodles and PBJ, and he's getting steak and watermelon and potatoes. Man. I want to hang out with him.
Right.
Scott says, car looks great, Gary. Well, Scott, it's going to look less great. But when I pull the engine out.
Yeah, one more tube. Well, me and Troy Ace talked about it.
What a mess I got over here. Let me get rid of that dealy bopper there.
Hell yeah, man. Linker agrees, man, that his cooking's on fire.
Paul says, what's up, fellas? Been just doing the thing.
Right on.
Larry Hunt. My boy, John Hurd, getting it done on leaf springs. That's right.
Pow, pow, pow.
This is Kenny Hubbard. He says, damn, his cooking is fire.
Oh, my goodness. Let's just go hang in his pit.
Yes.
If we could be in between Hubbard and
Carl Jones.
Yeah.
That's right.
Scratch. You know what I mean?
The cars would progressively get slower, right?
Yeah, right.
You have to get on the scale and gain 5 pounds every round.
Absolutely. I see Mr. Harper watching.
What? Mr. Harper?
Mr. Harper.
Kenny Hubbard is the man. That Georgia cooking is unreal. Yeah, it looks delicious. Mr. Harper, how you doing? How is the foot doing? Please let us know.
Give us an update.
Tony Whitmore says Hubbard's pit is always a party and good people and food.
There you go.
There's Harper.
Secrets.
Oh, holy crap! What'd I do? Harper says, "What's up, guys?" I don't see it over here though, but
yeah.
Hello, Mr. Harper. Are you ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, let's start throwing some pictures. We had a week.
Okay. Let me zip us over here. Shannon Wise. Hey, Shannon.
Hi, Shannon. Brian with you. I know they've been busy this weekend.
And the puppy dog.
Oh, yeah.
Maverick. That's his name.
There he is right there. He's on the Facebook.
What's up? Shannon says, hey, guys. Bam.
Foot is getting better. Right on.
Foot is getting better. Hey, okay. So Mr. Harper's right here. Speaking of Mr. Harper.
Yeah.
We know he can track prep.
Okay.
As good as he track prepped with a bad foot, how good is he going to track prep with 2 good feet?
Yeah.
Think about that? Huh?
Right?
Really? For real?
Seriously.
Yes. Oh, hopefully I ain't giving away any secrets here. He's going to have 2 good feet and just kill it.
Secrets away.
Man.
He's the man right there.
That's right. Can't wait to see the 2 good feet prep.
Here we go.
What? Whoa. Whoa, we got a comment here. Scott says that's what I want to know.
Man, Scott, we were talking about that yesterday. What we, Gary? We made a little road trip yesterday, and you know, you're just sitting there talking, and so yeah, we were talking about that. If one more year, you know, with that third gen.
Yep. Harper says, I think we did a great job this weekend from the golf cart. That sounds good.
Yeah, that's funny.
2 foot Tommy.
That's funny.
What
do you got there? The Browns?
Yeah. Julie was in here just a second ago, but we snatched this off of her Facebook post. And her man, Devin Brown, get ready for a new addition to the family. Baby Brown is due January 2025. Congratulations to the Brown family. That's going to be really awesome.
Super excited for everybody.
Yes, sir, Rodney, he says.
Yeah, missed it by 1 year.
Yep, congrats to the Browns. Good.
In January. That's just in time, you know?
Yep. January, March roll around, get in a 10.5 car, get testing.
get the suit on, you know, the helmet.
Yep. It's going to get expensive as the fire suits keep adapting to the growing kid, but that's the way it goes. What'd you say here?
Papa Brown.
Julia Brown says, Papa Brown says, just in time for race season. That's right.
There you go. Let's go.
Man. That's awesome. Great news. Congratulations to you guys.
Yep.
Can't wait. Well, that was going to see. It's going to sound a little weird. Can't wait to see the Brown baby, but that sounds a little weird, doesn't it? Can't wait to see baby Brown. She says you'll see it moving around the track strapped to me, I'm sure. Right on.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Well, she's already got a puppy in each hand. You know what I mean? She's walking around. Yep. So there you go.
They got 2 puppies, I think.
Right. One in each hand.
Right.
Yep. Nice.
I got some spy photos of you, Rodney.
Oh, what do you got?
What look at this. Something going on with your car, a little bit more, some more updates happening.
Caught me a HotRod racing there, didn't you?
Yeah,
got a new window net, got some ProJack provisions. Had a tube that was rubbing where it shouldn't be if you turn too much left, so we fixed that.
Look at Julia's comment. It will definitely be albino white. Poor kid has no chance of that tan. Oh man.
Come out with the bush red, dude.
And come out with a bushy red beard.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's funny. Yeah. This is you picked it up today. Is that what you did?
Yeah.
Hey,
that CJ Race Cars kit, you know, Stroud made the net, turned it a couple weeks, and it
was too hot for this.
Yeah.
It was too hot for this today, dude. I do not recommend
that was
going
before outside. That was early. That was before 10.
Oh, so it's 105. This is what it was 104.
Yeah, 93.
Okay.
Yeah.
Scott says that's a pro mod.
Yeah, if you got Pro Jacks, it's a pro mod. That's what I was told this week. If you got Pro Jacks, you got a pro mod.
But if you have,
you know,
if you have Pro Jacks and a receiver hitch, it's still a street car. Right?
Oh, I appreciate that, Scott.
Hey, this is a good shout to you, man. Scott says been humbled by that car lots of times.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's a good working car.
Yeah, sir. So we got it back home, and I tried them out, made sure I knew what I was doing.
Mike Peters watching. Hey, Mike.
What's up, Mike?
Yep, and, you had Keith do a little work on the front with some tabs for the jacks that was needed.
Yeah.
And look at that. So how do you like it?
I love it, man. He made these brackets, let's say it. They're a bolt on with the RCI K member where it goes into the rack, and so it can be duplicated. Anybody got a Fox Body K member? And
man, that's a good point. Yeah, because you and I have been looking for a while. We kind of knew at a point that something was going to be being made for it. If you could just click and buy something, you'd have already had it. But Keith made these deals that bolt on, and they are super cool.
They are, and they track, you know, and and just to talk about it, you know, Troy Weens, let's give him a shout out. Gave me a hell of a deal on these jacks and the whole kit. When I had the car back at Keith's during the winter, you know, he did the back end. He had the provisions put in for that when we redid that. But on the front, I didn't have anything. And so, you know, we talked to people and looked at things. I was over at, you know, Cameron's and the Browns and Foreman's and just looking at deals because,
Yep.
you know, and seeing, you know, some saying, you know, hard position, some saying you want to slide. And so it was a hard mount in the back and it's going to be able to slide in the front. So good job to Keith. You know, he does a great job while he was there. You know what I mean? You take it over for one thing. You're like, hey, why you have it? You know, and of course, you know, Troy Aves' window net blew me out of the water. So I had to get one of those. You know what I mean? Yep. And so that's cool as all get out. So now I can get out of the car without messing with that GM seatbelt from '83. And then then I had a tube underneath, which all my buddies tell me, just turn that tube around and run it up front, quit running it through the firewall. So I have this tube that kind of goes on the block. And when I squeezed the A-arms in, it kind of rubbed a little bit on the strut. So hats off to Keith. He hooked me up with that as well. And no, I ain't doing Hemi. Yeah, I ain't doing no Hemi. And
what I miss?
Oh, Troy's over here talking.
Yeah, Tony says hover. He says Hoover. He meant to say hover car.
Hover car. Yeah. I'm just trying to keep up with his boy Cameron Marshall. Got a white car on Project.
There you go. Troy says next he's going to be wanting a Hemi too. What's a Hemi?
With the window net. That's what he's talking about.
Right.
Yeah, I was talking to Troy at work and told him I was thinking about another bullet. He says as long as it's a Coyote. So we'll see. I don't know.
Yep. Well, good job. It looks good, Rod.
Thank you, Keith. Fox Rod Racing.
Yep.
Got me in quick. You know, I don't think anybody else, you know, got pushed to the back, but he turned it quick. And, you know, I worked that weekend after father, or what's he saying?
Scott says all of them want Hemis. I don't. Honestly, I don't.
Trying to hang with the Metcalfs and the Mocs. Is that what's going on?
Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to get in where I fit in, you know, small motor, small little bitty motor.
Yeah. Yep. Me too. I'm going from this to a smaller motor. Yep.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Adam Phillips is watching. How you doing, Adam?
What's up, Adam? Did a great job last week. Great job.
All right. Are you ready?
Sure.
Are you ready to deal with what?
Are you ready? Is this what you told me you were going to say?
Well, hang on.
From all week. Is it go time yet?
Not yet.
All right. I'm waiting.
We got to make a deal.
Me and you.
Kenny Hubbard is watching. Hey, Kenny Hubbard, how you doing?
Kenny, I eat the best food in town, Hubbard. Holy cow.
Kenny, if you have a second, cook me up a medium rare steak and ship it right up here to Wichita.
Personal.
Put it in an Amazon van, and it'll be in here like in 10 minutes. So I'll take a medium rare steak with some watermelon and some potatoes. Comment, I got ketchup on here. And Mr. Harper says, hey guys, Ron Evans was involved in a fire in his dragster today. He is okay and has a couple small burns on his hands. I only say this to remind everyone that great safety gear worn properly can save your life. Front mounted fuel cell and the cap was left off. Oh, that's bad. On launch, fuel and vapor filled the whole body. Vapor made it to the pipes and it went up in flames. Driver compartment turned into a fireball. All ended well. Dang. Wow. So to say it all ended well because he had the proper safety gear on, right? Mr. Harper?
That's a great reminder, man. You know, safety first. All your equipment, your fire bottles, everything, man. Can't say it enough.
Yeah. And Kenny Hubbard, while you're here, I'm going to hit you up in a text sometime this week about my jacks with the screw coupler. In your video, I seen like an air hose coupling. You went chunk, and it came undone. I want them couplings. I'm going to hit you up.
You're talking about at the motor, right? Not at the jacks themselves. Is that right, Gary? Yeah,
there'll be 3 of them, like one at each jack to undo the jacks, and then one at the pump to undo the pump. So they're not all hooked up. I'm going to hit him up about that. Because I seen in his video, he just went chunk.
Yeah.
He said, sound good. Yeah, he went click and it came undone instead of unscrewing the deals.
Yeah.
Totally unrelated to this, but since he's here, I wanted to give him a shout that I'm coming. I'm going to send him a text. So let's get back to where I was going.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay.
Now, this ain't the surprise either, right?
You're getting ready to find out.
Okay, I don't know.
So we're going to make a deal. What?
All three quick, low loss fluid.
I want no fluid loss. Is that too much? Am I asking too much? Oh,
gotta have a little pipe around there.
We're gonna make a deal.
Me and you?
Yes.
Is this let's make a deal?
This is let's make a deal, and I'm pretty much gonna blackmail you.
I don't have any.
This is what we're gonna do.
I don't have my wallet on me. I'm just looking for some money here.
We're gonna make a deal, but I'm gonna blackmail you. You got it?
Okay.
So, okay.
I feel like Troy A's right now. You know what I mean? You already pay your other bet, or what's going on?
So you asked me the other day, did you submit your application for limited? And I was like, well, no, I haven't. So you remember like Sunday night or Monday, I said, dude, I got some inside dirt and I'm going to hold on to it till Sunday. You remember that?
Yeah, you told me that. And I held on to that. I told myself, do not ask Gary, do not ask Gary. And you even made a comment on the way on our road trip yesterday that I never said something. I've been biting my tongue all week so I wouldn't pry anything out of you. And you noticed that I was biting my tongue.
I thought you'd be bugging me about it, but you didn't.
I know, I would have been, but I was just like, sitting there.
Rich Frost is watching. Hey, Rich.
What's up, Rich?
I'm going to catch up these comments when we're done with this.
Okay.
So,
we got
so
time.
my limited application.
Mm-hmm.
This also,
we had one last week. We had someone submit.
We think it was web.
Yeah, it was spiderweb. That's exactly what it was. And and I think the address was none of your business. Is that what it was?
The address was at your mom's house.
Your mom's house.
So we're gonna make a deal.
Wait a minute, I'm not agreeing to this. Hold on.
Yeah, you are. So, if I'm gonna submit my application live right here.
Oh, okay. To limited.
Yep. And if it gets approved, I will give you the dirt that I'm holding on to.
Oh, I see. Well, we have Harper on and we have Larry Hunt on, and so I think are they part of the board? You know what I mean?
I have no idea, but you're getting ready to find out what my application is.
Man, you're setting me up. I feel like
no, it'll be all right.
Like, what's going on?
Devin Brown. Hey, Devin, he's watching.
Hey, congratulations, Devin.
I'm gonna audition for my limited application to be approved.
Okay.
In a couple seconds.
All right.
If you approve my application, I'll give you the dirt that I got.
All right. Let's do. I'm ready.
Are you ready? Yes, hey, now remember, this flew through my brain at Arby's yesterday. So
I noticed you had a moment. You're like, oh, and you smiled real big, and I'm like, is this something? I can't tell you.
And I'm almost done with it.
You told me too. Like, you a little bit more tonight. A little bit more.
I'm about right here.
Wow. And then you get the Coke.
Are you ready?
Oh, look at this. Look at Mr. Russell Foreman.
No, hang on. We'll get to it. All right. I got to get my application going.
Get your application in.
Give me a countdown. 3, 2, 1.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Are you sure you're ready?
I don't know. Oh, Gary. Oh, my goodness. You're cracking me up, dude. You're cracking me up.
I'm looking for sponsors and subscribers and an approval for my application. Am I approved?
You are approved.
Hey,
Oh
like,
my
for
goodness.
real? These are my undies.
I noticed that.
There's my shorts.
100% approved.
Very, very good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Man,
I'm hot over here.
Let me just slip my shorts back on.
Oh, I haven't laughed that hard in a while, man.
That's how the Instagram girls do it.
I guess so.
They shake their booty in their black tights.
That's it. Will you sponsor me? Well, there you go.
Okay.
You're approved, Gary. Come on.
Well, good.
Let's go limited street racing.
Woo! All right. Dude, that was an Arby's moment yesterday. I thought of that. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this.
Woo! Man, that was great.
Okay. Let's catch up on the what?
Man, when he stood up, I'm like, what the hell?
What the hell? Mr. Harper says approved.
Ooh, locked. He's locked.
Is it wash day? No. Let's get to these comments and then I'll hold up my end of the deal. Right. Mr. Harper says, yes, and my guys are on him quick. That helped save the damage on the car. Full suit was definitely hurt, but didn't burn through.
Man, money well spent. You know, this, I want to pause for a second for real and get serious. Yes. Tim McCamus talks about this, you know, about taking your vehicle to a proper facility that has all the safety in mind when there is a situation. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And we as racers can decide, you know, where we want to take our cars to go race. And that's something, you know, you have to keep in mind, not only like, hey, is the track going to be, you know, prepped or just whatever, for example, but also like if something bad does happen, you know, do you feel safe and that sort of thing. But golly, hate to see anything happen to anybody. Knock on wood. I'm glad he's okay. And safety first for real. You know, as you know, I was the kid on the street back in the day, running around with shorts, you know, trying to do something. And I just I just think all about it. And John just said something that is so true as well. Just hitting in your car all buckled in with all your stuff, and you know, have your significant other or whoever, your kid, time you to get out. I think you're supposed to be able to get out under a minute or something. Yeah, according to the rule book. Yeah, just practice that.
You know, and you say that, and just like you just said, practicing that, you've got a new window net picture. You know, it's not where it was; it's somewhere different. So you need to get used to where that's at. But that new Cameron Johnson piece is so cool. It has a, you know, it's got a deal. It's got a quick deal. It works so great. Yeah. Right there. Yeah. Kurt makes a good point. Close your eyes getting out. Dark.
That's a good idea. Yeah. That's a good idea. Maybe even hold your breath for real, you know?
Hey, and you know what else? Try to go through the passenger door, because if you're up against the wall, try to go through there. You know, if you got an intercooler and a whole bunch of crap in the way, try to get out of that. You know, if you're up against the wall and you can't get out the driver's side.
Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff to remember.
Brian Wise, when he rolled, didn't he go out the windshield? Seriously.
Did he go out the front? I don't remember.
I thought that, but I might be pulling that one out. I don't know. I know they're on. They can answer. But that's a good point, man. We're all racers, and you know, it all comes to a quick halt. You know, something happens.
Yep.
And so I'm glad Harper brought that up. And safety first. Get those fire bottles. Get those good gloves. You know.
Devon Smallwood said, the windshield. He went out the front windshield.
Yeah.
And it was optic armor.
Yeah. It wasn't. That's why I got those boots at PRI.
That's right.
Yep. Yeah. I'm passionate about this stuff, man.
Yeah. Shannon says, yes, he did. Ripped the windshield off and crawled out.
There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Cool. No, I like these serious talks.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's go back here to Russell Foreman. Russell says limited 275 is fixing to get salty as hell, fixing to be a big class.
Oh, you ain't lying, man. All the hearts and likes on that. So I'm gonna ask a question, Russell. Heard from a few shows back. You guys are, you know, the Foreman mafia is getting into the limited lane, and just a quick question. So your boy James, right? Isn't that his name, Gary James?
Mm-hmm.
Is he going to have a campaign limited car? If you want to tell, just something I was thinking about.
Rodney, I know something else. I'm not going to say it here, but just because, and Russell's not joking. So I know a little behind the scenes of what they're doing.
Is this the thing that you found out the other day? You haven't told me yet.
No, not yet. We haven't got there. But
okay,
Russell's not joking, and I'll tell you after this is over, because they haven't said nothing, so I'm not gonna. But I know the scoop. I'm not gonna say it here.
All right.
Scott Linker says 275 limited like a mover.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let me hold up my end of the deal.
The wagon
will be coming to play.
Nice.
Wagons like to play.
Yep.
All right, Rodney Dow.
I hope we had something to do with that. You know what I'm saying? That's
what's that? What's that? What?
You know what I mean?
What?
What? Say again.
What'd you say?
I'm just talking about all this energy, you know, with the show and stuff, bringing this, you know, pow, 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 like you were talking about with Tim Webb, you know, and last week, and like, you know what, I'm getting my brother's car out. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Jeff Harper's got a question.
Jeff Harper, where do I find limited rules? Jeff, you can find them on the Titans of 10.5 right there in Rodney's. Well, it's the Titans. It's not the rules aren't there. You can find them limited rules on. Yeah. Are there rules on there?
Yeah, I'll read them.
Okay. Oh, that was just the dates. Well,
are you ready? Yep. Say it. It's the Moore Race Chassis Limited 275. Factory roof quarters and doors. 275 DR 28 10.5 PBR or 28 10.5 slick, no W. Back half only. Steel firewall, factory location, factory front frame rails. And we talked about that. That's from the shock tower back. Bolt-in K members, okay. No billet blocks or heads. Small block, any single power adder. Twins limited to 76 millimeter, no reducers. Big block, single stage, nitrous only. No boosted big blocks. Drive to the lanes and back to the trailer. Must have engine diaper. That's it.
Yep.
And that the second before last, we're going to talk about later because Mr. John Hurd brought something up on that. So maybe we'll see.
Yep.
You know, we got the guys on. Harper's on. You know, Larry's on.
Yep.
You know,
Harper and Larry. Yep.
Yeah.
And for a guy to be interested in limited 275, John will be the first nitrous guy that we've heard from.
Yeah. Right? Okay. He's thinking about it.
He's thinking about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Scott says no boosted big blocks.
Yeah.
Right here.
Yeah. No, those are for the big boys. These are just the little motors.
That's why deposit number 2 is on its way.
Right. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember you talking about
that. Yeah. Jeff Harper says, "Thanks, fellas, dude. You're welcome. Thank you for
exciting.
Yeah, Jeff. Thanks for chiming in and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Russell Foreman says Rick James has a new heartbeat. That's what I'm talking about, and I know what it is. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. Yeah. Let's finish holding up my end of the deal.
All right, let's hear it.
Okay. I'm just going to go like this, and you just tell me what you think. It's just a dash.
Yeah, that's what I see. It's a Holly 7 or something.
Yeah. This is obviously it's a car.
Okay.
It's got 139 pounds of fuel pressure at 1,200 RPM and 1.4 TPS, 4.9. So it's a methanol car. There's not a lot of info on that dash, but you want me to keep going?
Sure. I'm ready.
This is different info than I got early in the week, okay. But it's info. This is new info I got today, just a few hours ago. Let me do this. Oh, looky there. Oh, that's a serious piece. It's got a P motive battery and an air bottle and M&M shifter. It's a serious piece. Would you look at that? Yeah. So, what do you think so far?
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. And I got 3 pictures. This is the third.
Hold on a second. I'm still sitting
Yeah, okay. And you know who you are. Go ahead and chime in here in a second if you want to. And we'll finish this deal. Are you ready?
Yeah. I think I know who it is.
This was left grainy on purpose. Just because. So that's twin turbo.
Sure.
Looks like a big block Chevy.
Yep.
So Mr. Mystery Man. You know what I'm getting at here?
I'm hoping. I'm hoping I know what you're talking about.
Now, I also got some numbers with this thing, and I'm gonna keep that to myself.
Okay.
But if that person wants that stuff out, that's their business. But there's a new car coming to town.
That's what I'm talking about.
Now, I don't know what this body is, but this is as much of the body as I've seen.
Man, I don't know. I mean, seriously, is it a 4th gen? I'm just looking at the windshield. I'm just trying to guess a little bit.
I mean, Mr. Mystery Man, if you want to put some more info out here, we'll sure play with it. But we're 36 minutes in, and
okay.
But
I got a what up from Scott and a sad face or something from
Scott. What's up? Oh, hey Scott, look at that.
Is that a sad? What is that? Is that a?
Is that a whatever?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Kind of weird. These two fellows would pop up, right?
I know it. I'm hoping that I was hoping the name would pop up. Man, let's that looks awesome. Hey, if you're getting ready to tell me that Scott Linker bought a car and he's coming to town, I'm super excited about that. Is that what you gather from this? Holy man. That's what I'm hoping. Yeah. That's what I'm hoping.
Troy says, since we talking small tire, I'm going to guess a Mustang. I don't know what that is.
I don't know. It looks a little, the windshield looks. Go back a picture. Let me look at that again.
Dun, 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 dun. Here's the inside. You can't see much from here. A bunch of bars and some carbon and a tranny. And
yeah.
Okay. Here's the number he gave me. Okay, there you go. Scott Linker says it's been 253 to the 8th. Holy crap.
What?
Woo!
Is that 253?
253.
To the 8th mile?
8th mile. Whoa. That's a serious piece.
Yeah.
Man.
Holy cow. 330. There we go. Okay, to the 330.
Okay. Right. Well, yeah. 330. 330.
There we go. I was going to say, that's like world record. I mean, yeah.
There's a Morris Martinez. Morris. Hey, we're going to see you next weekend at Flying H, Morris.
Heck yeah.
Larry says it must have double hump heads.
Must have. Scott, what kind of car is it, buddy? Go back to the right now, bud.
Go what?
Go ahead and go to the right again to the engine.
Dun, dun, dun. Some big old turbos, fuel tank. Yep. I don't know what it is. I can't tell. And like for real, I don't know what it is. Like he didn't tell me. He didn't tell me what it is.
Heck yeah! Well, congratulations. I mean, Is it here yet, or are you still you're in the process? Oh, Hemi bitches get stitches. There we go.
Morris says we have a grudge race versus Joey. We saw that getting put together on that Flying H chat.
Oh, okay.
Hemi bitches get stitches.
Don't need no stinking Hemi.
Oh man. Okay.
That's awesome.
We need to roll along. This is gonna be
another great, car to be in the fleet around here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt.
Good luck and all of that.
Scott, thanks for sending the pictures. It was fun to tease Rod for a week.
Yeah. Just a little something.
A little something. That's right.
Yeah.
It is.
See, let me just tell you what was going on there at the Linker house. He wanted to go out and get a new car, and Tiffany's like, you got to finish the ceiling. As soon as the ceiling gets done, then go get it.
So they made a deal just like you and I made a deal. Right?
That's right.
That's right.
There you go.
Soon to be seen, Rodney. That's right.
There you go. Yeah. Scott knows that, mom ain't happy, no one's happy. Get my ceiling done.
Well, they say happy wife, happy life.
There you go. That's it. Whoop, whoop.
Okay, we need to keep on cruising. We're gonna.
Do it.
John's gonna dump us here and go do something.
He's checking nitrous plugs right now.
Ooh, he's checking it. He's checking the nitrous plugs, cleaning them up. What are you doing next weekend?
Going to Flying H.
Boom! Look at that.
Got the fox hunt.
Fox hunt July 19th and 20th.
Yeah.
The schedule for Friday, July 19th is live music. Round 1 of Heads Up qualifying at 6 o'clock. That's you, Rod.
Woo-woo.
Index. Round 2 of Heads Up qualifying. That's you, Rod. At 9 p.m.
Let's do it.
Oh, man,
yeah, Blake reached out, asked what we were doing next weekend. Talked to you and Tanner, and when you brought the phone in to say it's going to be like 83 degrees.
Oh, yeah.
It's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a no-brainer. We got a storm coming in on Wednesday, Thursday. Cool
Scott wants to go to Flying H, dude. You will love Flying H. It is so cool.
Go and walk around. Check it out. That's what I was telling Metcalf the other day. Just go check it out.
Fox Hunt, where we will be. Fox Hunt, Saturday, July 20th. Live music, Super Pro. Round 3 of Heads Up qualifying. That's you, Rodney. 3 p.m. Bikini contest.
That's you, Gary.
That's where I'll be at 4 p.m.
Bikini contest. Get those black tickets back out.
Don't call or text at 4 p.m. I'll be at the bikini contest at 4 p.m. Round 1 of Heads Up eliminations. That's you, Rod. 6 p.m. And round 1 of exhibition. That's maybe the Larry and Robin deal, maybe. Yeah.
Now we going to the fox hunt. We're gonna put some slicks on and try limited.
I can't wait. Hey, let me tell you, I'm not going to watch you race.
Oh, okay. You're going to the bikini contest.
That's not why I'm going. I'm not going to watch you race or help you race.
Okay.
I'm going to see the other limited cars.
Oh yeah.
I'm doing some recon with the bikini contest in there somewhere.
Tanner. I don't even see Tanner. Where's he at? It's me and Tanner on our own.
Tanner is not of age. He does not. He's not old enough.
He can't watch the bikini contest.
He's not old enough.
Yeah.
So they got Outlaw Small Tire 5,000 to win. Limited Street. That's you, Rod. 5,000 to win. True Street 2,000 to win, and Pro Street. I don't know what the Pro Street rules are. If it's similar to the Midwest Drag Race deal, I don't know.
Right on.
But Friday early testing. Hey, are you going to test? 250, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Man, maybe we should. We're already going to be there.
Well, right. Hey, we can be there whenever you want. I'm just telling you.
Right on.
Spectators Friday $20, Saturday $35, parking is $20, crew weekend passes $60. Oh, bikini contestants, call Nikki.
Call her up.
Yeah. And also that day, Flying H put this out. We are very excited to announce Robin Roberts versus Larry Larson in a best 2 out of 3 shootout. This is going to be a show you don't want to miss. That'd be really cool.
Right.
We get to see awesome. Larry's new car.
Yeah.
So I think it's safe to say next week's show will be a Flying H recap of limited racing in that new class, a first for you.
Yeah.
On the slicks. So that'll be a lot of fun. That'll be fun. Yes. We'll have some pictures.
Shout out to my marketing partner, Mo M4, came in with some Hoosiers DO5s. Thank you, Nick and Phil. For real.
Scott says, what's 250?
What do we know? I didn't see that one.
What did we miss here? 250 for early testing. 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. is $250.
Exactly, Scott. What's 250? Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
I get it.
10 to 4. You could get what? Yeah. 6 passes. You could get 1 pass an hour, probably.
I mean, easy, and get some good data, and tire pressure, and
you could wear out some. You could wear out some slicks. You could wear out some slicks in 6 hours. Right?
Have to call for another set.
Yep. And there's Larry and Robin. Okay, man. I didn't think we had much to bullshit about for the beginning.
We're wow.
Oh man!
Well, I didn't know you're going to have a little modeling back there either. That kind of threw off,
Well, we're looking for sponsors and subscribers, so you got to do what you got to do.
Next time you have your little, your shirt tied up.
Hey,
there,
I I did think about doing that, but I didn't.
Yeah.
Well, what's their comment here? Oh, what is this? Yeah, I mean, like, fuck,
Oh,
dude,
250 test. Yeah, I got you.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, man, this is as long as we went. With,
ready? You got any more before we bring in the man?
No, that's it. Let's bring in the big dog Nitrous man himself.
The big dog Nitrous man.
I got to get rid of that.
John Hurd, the big dog Nitrous man.
I got to click buttons. I got to get there. Everybody, here comes Mr. John Hurd.
What's going on, John?
Hey, John.
Hey, guys. How's it going?
It's going great.
Good. We finally got through our ridiculous beginning stuff, but here you are.
Yeah. We went a little extra. Sorry about that. I like your background.
Thanks.
That's a good looking automobile.
Larry Hunt says, if you have a Fruit of the Loom banner on the top of your windshield, your ad was successful. Hey, they're actually armachillos from Duluth Trading.
Oh, man. I didn't know Gary's going to run around naked. That was awesome.
Man, that was for real, my undershorts. So just see if anybody's curious.
You stood up and pulled those bad boys down. Like, what in the world? What are you doing? Yeah. You told me, too, you're going to have a little extra spin on your drink to be able to pull that off. So I think you did all right. I give you an 8 out of 10. I give you an 8.
Remember, I told you at Arby's, I said,
"Oh my God!"
I said, I'm a pussy if I don't do this. Remember, I told you that?
Yeah. Now it's all clicking. Now it's all clicking.
Oh, I couldn't pass that up. Sean O'Donnell says, "Hey, John."
Hey, John.
Man, well, let's get into Mr. John Hurd.
Yeah, let's go. Take it away.
Hey, one of the things I wanted to bring up real quick, what Gary was talking about practicing getting in and out of the car.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but I realized that I was starting to get kind of lazy on every pass getting out of the car. And I kind of changed my thing a couple of years ago. I always get out of the car with my helmet on and kind of practice every lap getting out quick. Because if you do stuff, kind of get just kind of a feel for it, remember how to do things. Because I've got to flip my belt up over this way to get it out of the Hans. Start doing it the same way, just like when you stage. You know, when you stage, you've got this ribbon that you go through. And if you do that every pass, getting out of the car too, I think it'll come a lot more natural to you if you got to get out quick. I know when I get lazy about it, I may get to the end of the track and I may just sit there for a while and kind of casually unhook stuff. And I think that's a bad habit to get into. I think if you practice getting out somewhat quick, at least to go through the same maneuvers every time, get your belts off, get out of the car, then unhook and do everything you need to do. I think that might save somebody a little bit. Because if you only practice like once or twice a year bailing out of the car, you're not going to remember that when it's critical. I think if you do it every pass, get out with the helmet, don't take your Hans off, get out of the car, I think that is worth doing. It's something I was trying to do every pass. I wouldn't say I did it every pass, but I was trying to get in a rhythm of doing that every time, getting out the same way every time, just like when you stage.
Yeah.
Just something we were talking about that earlier, and I wanted to mention that I think it's a good habit to get into. It can't hurt.
No,
that's a good point.
That's a great. Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I've never heard anybody say it like that, to do that when you exit the car after a pass, to, kind of promptly practice that. And I've never heard anybody say that. And that's a great point.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Definitely. Because we all get lazy, but if you do it and get it part of your routine, I think it's worth doing.
Yeah. Agree.
Russell Foreman says John needs to come to Limited and come race with us. He has a limited killer. We're going to get to that.
We're getting to it.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. We're got some mirrors from Copo parts or whatever that Chevrolet stuff is. Got some mirrors coming. What year is that? A 70?
71.
71. There you go.
Yeah, we have any mirrors and some other streetcar stuff.
Yeah. All right. That's all
Maybe a
right.
radiator.
Radiator, straight
Fuel
car.
cell. Yeah.
All right, Gary, you ready to launch us in?
Yeah, John, we want to know how stuff started for you.
And you made me think about that a little bit when we were talking about doing this. And I think the guy that really got me into hot rods was a dude that used to work for my dad at Western Auto. And this guy's name was Carl Thornhill. And Carl had a 1955 Chevy hot rod. The old American Graffiti style, had the fender wells cut out, with baby moons, 283 small block in it with headers, no back seat, no passenger seat, 4-speed. And man, I was nuts about that car. Every day after work, he'd work on it. After the store was closed, he'd piddle with the car in the shop there, and I'd help him out, clean his wheels and tires and just do anything I could. And this is like when I was 11 or something, I was just nuts about that. And I think that kind of got me started just being stupid about cars. Hot rod magazines, me and a couple buddies were just crazy about, read every hot rod magazine we got our hands on, just was crazy about them throughout middle school and in high school. And it kind of really just kind of led into a lot of this stuff. But I think Carl is the one that really got me to get the bug, just being around that old 55 all the time. And once in a while, he'd take me for a ride in it. And it's like trying to sit on the bucket and not fall over. So, but Carl he was a good old boy. And I think that kind of got me into the really liking race cars and smelling race car fuel and hot rods and things like that. That was certainly one of the starts. My grandpa used to race dirt track, so I might have got a little bit, hereditary there too. Back in the 40s and 50s, he used to race dirt track, so that kind of really got me into it. I think there's a picture, Gary, of the old Camaro somewhere. I don't know if you found it.
79 Camaro.
It was 1979 when that picture was taken.
So it's
that was
Okay.
my first hot rod in high school.
Wow.
We street raced that car a lot, and I was actually underage at the time, and that is how we got our beer on weekends.
Where's this picture at here? Where's this?
That was
picture at?
Mocan.
Okay.
That was Mocan.
Wow.
And that was 1979. Me and a bunch of buddies drove down to Mocan and raced, then drove back home. And I had a transmission fluid leak, and I had to add transmission fluid all the way home to get it back to the house.
In 1979, me and Rodney was 8 years old.
Yeah. It's been a while back. That car run a lot of street races. We used to race the older guys that were old enough to buy beer. So that was the bet, was like, I don't remember, it was $20 or something, or they'd have to buy us a case of beer. And so we'd get our beer with that car.
Man.
So what a lot of fun.
What this car run back in 79?
It was like a high 11, low 12-second car. I mean,
that's
dang. Wow.
I was not very smart back then. I mean, we didn't know what the hell we were doing. So that was pretty much a small block Chevy with stock heads and a little cam and a intake and a 4-barrel. And it wasn't really anything that fancy, but we had already got to the point where we'd stripped everything out of it. No heater, no nothing in it, no back seat. We were already taking the weight, pretty serious and things back then. But that wasn't very fast in today's standards. But back then, it won quite a few street races.
I bet.
So back then, was you living like in the area you're living now, in that southeast Kansas area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So
wow.
we like I said, just kind of raced around, just street raced. Nothing crazy. We had a spot outside of town called Dry Lake Corner that was between two bridges, and it was a quarter mile. So a great big huge embankment on each side of this 2-lane road, and we had a lot of races out there. There were a couple wrecks. I wasn't involved with any of those, luckily, but yeah, some good times to remember. We had a lot of fun.
Very cool.
Man, that's cool. You say something, Rod?
No, I'm just thinking, is that a Mopar in the other lane? I don't know if you know who that person is.
Like a road runner?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's been a long time ago. I don't
Sure.
remember who
I just
that
didn't know if
was,
that was a
but
buddy.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a Mopar.
Yeah. Yep. Very
That's
good.
a really cool picture.
I went Troy A's, and so he's about that old.
Yeah.
Oh, bunch of old parts on here.
You also sent this picture of this dirt track car. What's the story on this?
Oh yeah.
Well, after high school, I got married, and my father-in-law and my brother-in-law and myself was heavily into dirt track racing, and we used to race a new class back then. It was called IMCA Modifieds, and we had 2 IMC Modifieds and a late model, and we raced those things all throughout the southeast area of the state here and over in Missouri, Nevada, Missouri, and places like that, and that we did that for about 10 years. And just had a lot of fun. I drove some of the cars sometimes my brother-in-law would drive. Sometimes there toward the end, father-in-law got really serious about stuff, so we had to have a hired driver that came in and drive the cars, and we'd work on them and stuff. And it really, towards the end, it got so serious that we weren't having that much fun anymore. But we did, up to that point, the whole family would go. My daughter was probably about a year or two old, and she'd sit up in the stands on Friday nights when we went racing and stuff, and everybody went to the track, and it was a lot of good times. And that's one of the old late models before they got really stupid crazy like they are now. But yeah, that's back in the where would you race at? There's a track. It's a pretty big track now. It's called Humboldt, Kansas. We raced a lot there. We raced at Nevada, Missouri a lot. There used to be a track in Yates Center, Kansas.
Yeah.
I think we went to Wichita once or twice.
Yeah, 81.
Raced there. Yeah. And that's kind of, I think there's the Nut Caney, Kansas. I think we went there a few times. Just like I said, mostly it was modifieds, the IMCA modifieds, and that was a little 8.5-inch tire. I don't know if you're familiar with these cars, but there was a little short 26 by 8.5-inch tire that was a spec tire, and you had a claimer rule on the motor. I think it was like $300. So it's supposed to have been. Now most of the guys had a lot more money than that in the motors, of course, how that works. But you're supposed to be able to claim the motor. And at the end of the race, if you challenge, if you said that their engine wasn't legal, you could claim anybody for $300. Well, there's some of the guys that would just do that, out of spite, and go buy the guy's motor. And it may have been a $5,000 or $6,000 engine in the car, but
right.
So,
what was the engines? Was it like a 350 or something like that?
They were almost all of them were small blocks. Most of them at the time, we didn't really have a lot of late aftermarket heads. So they were heavily ported and polished cast iron heads, mostly aluminum rod. Some of them were strokers, 383s or so. There just wasn't a lot of parts back then.
Right.
This flat tappet. So they weren't really high horsepower things. But again, most of the time, most of these cars, you couldn't flat foot them all the way around anyway. So if you could, you really had quite a car.
Yeah.
But I tell you, from driving those things, the adrenaline level, we have a lot of adrenaline in an eighth mile. Just do that for 50 laps.
Oh, wow.
25 laps. And I mean, it's a real rush. I mean, to throw yourself in the corner and see the other guy's tire right beside you, outside the driver's window, and there's the tire and it's coming up and rubbing against you, and you're all in there going sideways. And it's a rush. It was fun.
That's cool.
Charles Wickham asks, did you race at Lakeside in Kansas or Riverside in Missouri?
I don't even remember the name. I don't think we raced at any of those. It was downtown Wichita, whatever that track is. It was right around the middle of Wichita. Like I said, it's been quite a while back. I don't remember the name of the track. Most of the stuff was Nevada, Humboldt, Yates Center, Caney. Those tracks is where we raced at mostly.
Very cool.
Yeah. Did you drove it a few times? Did you like driving it? Was it fun? You digging it?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I actually had another car. I had a street stalker, which was a 70 something Camaro, just a piece of junk really that had a motor in it. And street stock was pretty much, one of the entry level classes. And that old car didn't work very well, but it had a good motor in it. It pretty good down the straightaways, but it didn't want to handle very good. We didn't run that too long, but most of the fun stuff was in the modifieds. Those were really fun to drive. They're a real blast. And those old things back then, we didn't have a clutch in them. We used what we called there was just a spool that went from the crank to the input shaft of the transmission. So you had to start it in gear, shift it without a transmission, and get it to the next gear. And they rip pretty good when you get into them. It's a lot of fun.
Very cool.
The next picture I have leapfrogs all the way to 2001 with his Nova.
Yeah. That's the first.
Where did that come from?
That's the first picture. One of the first few pictures of the Nova I have. After we got done racing, I didn't do any racing for a while, for 10, 15 years. And I was looking for something to go cruise the Sonic with, just cruise around, something HotRod to play with. And we were out looking around. I was trying to find a Camaro. And we run across that car, that Nova, over in Snoop, Kansas. And my daughter said, "Hey, Dad, that one's kind of cool looking." And we got to looking at it. It's like, yeah, this might be fun. And it wasn't very expensive. It's just an old rust bucket, really. But we brought her home and started fiddling with it. And, it kind of what we call mission creep. It was supposed to be just a street car. And it just kind of get further and further and further down the road with all kinds of changes to it. Sean O'Donnell, he's a member of the Nova Group, which is a email list that I've been on since then, and still on today, which is a bunch of guys throughout the nation that have Novas. And at the time, it was kind of a discussion about, where do you find this piece or where you find that, all Nova specific stuff. And I met Craig Watson on that list, which you guys, he's a racer from back in Kentucky area, Tennessee and Kentucky area, races 275 now. And we have had a long time friendship, and it grew out of that old car, starting up, getting on that Nova list and kind of just kick around talking cars all the time. So I made a lot of good friends since then.
Oh yeah.
Awesome.
It's funny how these cars bring, friendships together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yep. This, this says 2001, and the pictures you sent was really cool because there was a date I could put with this.
Mm-hmm.
And this next one goes to 2003, and it looks a lot different.
A lot of changes in a couple of years.
Yeah, just kind of tore into that thing. At that point, it had a 505 cubic inch big block, narrowed 9-inch rear end under it, tubular A-arms.
I'll be back.
I don't think I had a rack in it yet. We just started getting the car fixed up, and that was just basically Friday night test and tune stuff to play around. It was still street legal back then. This is about the time I met Rick Merriman and Aaron Bremer and James at Mocan. We used to race Friday nights just goofing around, they'd have, would kind of just race little shootouts between each other, and had a hell of a time doing that. The old red Malibu.
Okay. Did you have nitrous on at this point, or is just running the motor?
Yes, this had, let's see. This was about the time I just started playing with nitrous on that car. It might have had a double cross plate on it back then.
Sure.
This was just about the time Mako started.
Okay.
So I would have been getting into nitrous about that. Well, getting into nitrous again. That old Camaro we had in that picture back in the 79, that had a Marvin Miller nitrous plate on it. Actually, had two of them on a tunnel ram. So that was fun back in high school.
Heck yeah. Like Tony Whitmore says, everything runs better with nitrous.
for a while. That old Camaro, I blew that motor up so bad, I threw the rods through the block and through the frame both.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was kind of a
That is a
catastrophic engine failure.
No, very cool. Very cool. Who painted the car for you?
That time there was a local guy here that did some paint work, and he painted it up, and it looked pretty good. What you can't see is about 3/8 to ½ inch of Bondo on those back quarters, which Robert Beasley will tell you all about when he repainted the second time.
Okay.
But it wasn't too bad. I mean, it was passable paint job. But again, it still had a steel hood and steel deck lid, and wasn't really much weight savings to it yet.
Sure.
Still pretty much a street car. I think I had like a 6-point cage in it back then.
Right. Right. Do you start updating the brakes or that sort of thing at this time, or still kind of stock brakes and that sort of thing?
I think that's when I bought the aerospace. I think I had the aerospace brakes on it then, which are still on the car today, actually. I still got those old aerospace brakes on it.
What was your best times with this 505?
That thing ran like low 10s, high 990s back then.
Yeah. And so you would go out and kind of grudge or whatever with some of the local Mocan boys on a Friday night?
Yeah, it just for shits and giggles, a heads up wannabe kind of thing. We just like to play around, and like I said, that's about the time I met Rec and some of those guys there at Mocan, and we just had fun on Friday nights, just racing each other occasionally. There was about that time, the shootout stuff was just really starting to happen.
Yeah.
2003, 2004, I think Carl had the first shootout race. And I don't think I was in that very first race. I went and watched it. But Rick Merriman had his newer Malibu there and got to talk with those guys. And we all got to, started talking about racing. And Mako started very soon, right around that point in time with the Mako races.
Where did your choice to paint it blue? Where'd that color choice come from?
I've always been a blue guy. Blue. The old Camaro was blue. I don't remember what shade that is exactly. It's kind of a blue, dark blue metallic. I don't remember what paint chip it was or whatever, but it was kind of similar to what it is now. Maybe just not quite the same shade. So
you mentioned Mako. And you have this picture. This is at Mocan 2004 Mako, and that's you in the right lane, and that's Ryan Livengood in his Capri in the left lane. And when I seen these pictures before I seen the date you had with it, I knew that was Ryan's car. Yep. And I was like, let's see the date, the time frame. This has to be before 2005, because in 2000. After 2005, his car ended up with a ProCharger sticker above each wheel well, because I put a dent in his quarter panel with a piece of roll cage tubing.
Oh man.
It was in my garage in Salina, and my garage was small, and I was doing some tubing work, roll cage. It was like a radiator support or something, but I released the bender, and the tube was pointed towards the car, and when it released, it went bam. Oh yeah, dude, I was sick. Against the driver, it was the driver's side quarter panel above the wheel, and that tube was bent on the end, and it went bam, and it hit the quarter panel, put a dent in it. And he's a paint and body guy. Oh yeah. And I was like, I gotta call him and tell him. So I called him that evening. It was, I don't know, it was 5 something, whatever. I called him, he's like, hey, I said, oh, what are you doing, Ryan? I'm driving home in this fucking Kansas City traffic and blah. And I thought, oh man, I'm going to make this even worse. I was like, I got to tell him. It made me sick to make that phone call. But I said, dude, I put a dent in your car with a roll bar tubing, and he took it pretty well. And I was doing some work for him because he was going to display it at World Ford Challenge in St. Louis in the ProCharger booth. And And when he took it to the Pro Charger booth for World Challenge, he put a Pro Charger sticker on the quarter panel, covered up the dent, put a sticker on both sides. Man, I was sick. It tore me up to have to call him and tell him I put a dent in his car. Man, that was awful.
I think that was one of the belt drive Pro Chargers,
Yes.
if I remember right.
Yeah, that was a
little skinny
reverse
belt.
rotation. Yeah, reverse rotation, small block Ford deal.
He was always burning up belts on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was a cool car. He still has it.
Cool.
Does he? Really?
Yeah. Yep. I talked to Chris Rose a lot, and Chris Rose said that Ryan had talked about trying to get it out, but Chris was trying to relate to him how fast this 8th mile small tire stuff is now, and what he would need to be competitive to run. And I don't know if he's in for that. So
yeah,
we haven't seen him, So yep. You mentioned Craig Watson here. Your picture is 2004. This is Bowling Green.
Yeah. We had a Nova get together there in 2004, and Craig and I had a grudge match against each other, and that was kind of fun. I think I had it on Nitrous then, and Craig raced. I think it was the small tire, the 8.5-inch class back east there. But that was kind of a fun time. We went to Bowling Green, drove the cars around town. Just kind of had a good old time. Had about 20, 30 people get together down there, and part of the thing was to go racing a little bit. And so we had a track day. Basically, we rented the track, and I think we were one of the only two that was actually racing each other. But there's a lot of guys there who were just making passes and stuff and having fun. But I got a trophy from that one.
Oh, cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now this goes to 2005 Mako.
Yeah. This is really the beginning of, I think, one of the funnest parts of my racing career, time, or whatever you want to call it. Man, I met so many folks at this, the Mako series. I was, when we were talking about doing this, I just sitting back about all the people that I'd met. One of them is Harold Sutton. Harold's passed away a few years ago. But just so many of the guys, had such a good time. There's so many stories that you could tell. Harold, you get a fun one out of this. Quasi and Fat Cat, all the guys that were some of the top runners, and Brian Sutton. Brian had I think it was 70 Chevelle, kind of a forest green 70 Chevelle, and his dad was Harold. Harold would take donuts to the races every time and feed them to Fat Cat and Quasi, and he's trying to fatten them up. So he was a little dude. He had a barometer or a weather station around his neck at the whole time at the races. And I'd get a call like on some Monday morning at 7 a.m. John, do you know what the air is today? He goes, man, the cars are fly today. But I met Adam and Scott, a lot of the guys there, Sam Hunt. You see a lot of these guys still around the races here and there. They show up, but we had that Mako series. What it last for about 10 years. That was a really good series. Jeff Holloway, my hat is off to him on how good of a series he ran and how he ran his races. You always knew what was going on with Jeff there. There was hardly any guessing. There was, people would bitch about the rules, but Jeff would lay the hammer down and say, this is how it's going to be. And pretty much everybody said, okay, we just went along with it. Jeff was in charge. And it was a really competitive class for many years. Cars all running pretty close together. And he had a pretty long set of rules, but he kept it pretty even and relatively low buck. There were a lot of guys that would go out and buy a rear Morrison motor, or Alan Long used to have, I think, a Moosey motor, and Dwayne Mills had a rear Morrison motor, and we had a lot of the old Street Outlaw guys that raced Mako at one time or another. So I think Mako, at least in this area, was the beginning to a lot of the racing that's going on now. I mean, that was kind of the beginning of everything.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that and Clash of the Titans, Freddy's, or
Yeah.
this was the
Yep.
series that was going on.
Yep. Tony Whitmore says Mako was a fun series. I raced whenever I could afford to.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah.
And we had good fields. There was, 20, 30 cars, I think, at most of the races. And I know when Jeff quit the series, it was because he didn't think he could make the track money. It was one of his caveats, or what do you want to call it? One of his requirements is that when Mako came to a track, that the track would benefit. We'd bring enough spectators, enough fans, enough family, whatever, that after the payout was done, that the track made money off us. And I think he pretty much did that till the end. And it just got to the point to where the Street Outlaw stuff was really starting to pick up quite a bit. There's so many different racing series and things going on that it wasn't special anymore. It just didn't have the draw that it used to have. So I think that's when he decided, to stop it. Is just he didn't think he could, sell it as to something that could make a track money.
Yeah. Ahead of time, doing that.
Yeah. And you talk like how it ended like that, but if it was like, there's been a gap to like right now, present day, if it was operating, it'd be a great series.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It still would be,
really?
And it would be great to have Jeff steering it out. Do you know he's running the tech director for PDRA now?
Yes.
I just talked to him here a week or so ago, and I was like, I bet that keeps him busy.
Right.
So we talked about this video that was a Mako video. Do you remember what year that was? And I'll play it. Do you remember when that was at MoCan?
I think it was 2005. If anybody in the chat remembers exactly what day it was, but this was probably the video that really launched Mako. Once this got out, I mean, the attendance really started to grow. It was this is a race against Scott Willis and Brent Martin. And there's a lot of stories about Brent too. If you ask any of the old Mako guys, he come in one year and pretty much dominated things for a while. And he created quite a controversy there for a bit, but this is quite the video.
Okay, I'm gonna play this video. It's gonna cover the whole screen. We can't talk or nothing while the video's on. It'll be about 50 seconds, and then when the video's gone, we'll be back. I'm gonna play it right here. So at the end of it, you see the bent license plate now, and I didn't catch that until you told us earlier that license plate is from that, and there it is.
Yeah. That was the header on the website for the Mako series for a long time. It just kind of represented the balls out kind of thing.
Right there.
Yep.
The best part of that video for me was those fans, how excited they were.
Yeah. There wasn't nothing like Mako back then. I mean, this was pretty crazy stuff to watch those kind of cars go down the track. That
was all crashing, but no crash.
Almost. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. I wonder what Scott Willis was thinking, at his seat at the table there, and that was going on.
I'm surprised he ain't on the chat telling us all about it.
Yeah. I know he watches these, but I'm sure he'll catch it at some point. But man, that's pretty wild. And I know I seen the views. I don't remember how many views it had when I watched that, but here's Mike Peters. Scott Willis wasn't as enthusiastic. Hey Mike. Oh man. So now we jump into 2006 Mako at Tulsa.
Cool.
And you're showing off with the wheels in the air.
Yeah, that was not a good wheelie. It came down and broke the radiator and don't remember if it been I think it hurt an A-arm. Yeah, that one come down a little too hard. I didn't feather it quite right.
So
We
so
tore things up.
you did like a D- job of bringing it back down.
Yeah, I didn't do it right. That's for sure.
Oh,
It came down and
man,
hurt
it
it.
happens.
Is this the same engine, that 505 with nitrous, or
Yeah.
you got something else? Okay.
Yeah, that was I'm pretty sure. Yeah, the same 505 big block, stall deck OEM block, and had profiler heads on it then. And I think I had the direct port or the fogger type system on there. Yeah, back in that. Now, back in those days, I had a really weird nitrous system on it. It was a Wizard of Nos from England, which a friend of mine, Johnny Barb, got me hooked up with that guy. And so it was kind of an oddball thing. I don't know that I would say it's better or worse than anything else, but it was definitely different. Most people would look at that and shake their head. It had the nylon lines instead of the stainless tubing. It had nylon lines for all the distribution tubes. So it was kind of a different setup. So, and we had a controller from those guys, and it was playing with oddball stuff back then. Just trying to do something different, you know.
Yeah.
But that was a tough year. That's the year I lost my wife. She died of cancer. And I raced a little bit, I think, but just about this time of year when she passed away. And I didn't really race a lot more that year, or too much more in 2007. Just had a lot of things to take care of back then. And, but we had a lot of fun. I mean, like I said, that was kind of the stopping point for me for racing for a couple of years. I still went to the races occasionally and had fun seeing everybody, but it just had too many things on my plate to deal with after that to really do much racing. We did a little bit.
Yeah.
Troy Aves says, I was just getting into the racing at end of Mako. It was a hell of a series with a lot of great group of guys back when the Dart was a big block.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
Yep. This next picture is 2006 Mako at Tulsa. So it's probably the same race, right?
I think it might have. I'm not sure if it's the same race or not. I'd have to go look at the dates. But you'll notice Steve Ash's car in the back there.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, right.
Remember that car?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Definitely.
Yep.
Steve used to pick on me every time he raced my car. Something would go haywire with his car. So he accused me of having a jammer in my car. It's because every time he'd race me, his electronics would jack up. For some reason, he thought I had some kind of cell phone jammer thingy that was messing his stuff up.
That's funny.
It's funny.
Yeah.
This goes to engine pick of 2008. Is this the new paint job?
No.
Oh, okay.
That's the year I wrecked it. So that's the old paint job. And the old engine, if you look real close at the nitrous system, you'll see that oddball nitrous system with the nylon lines on it.
Yeah.
Right.
It dry sump car. It still had that 505 in it at that point. I don't think I'd bought the new motor yet. Right around that time frame, I went from the 505 to 588 nitrous X275 nitrous legal motor. So I think that's another couple of years until I got to that point. We went to the 588. But this is 505, I believe, at this point with the profiler heads. And I remember who ported those things. I don't think they were ported at that time. I think they were just stock profiler heads.
Then the pictures you sent from Wichita, where
Yeah.
so what's the story on that? What year was that?
That was 2008 again. This was from a race against Keith Lopez. And I don't remember if it was one of the kid races like Summer Nationals or something, or if it was a Mako race. I don't remember which one it was, but I think Keith and I was in the finals, and I was out on him. I had him, and the car got loose, it got a little sideways, and it come around. I seen him there, and I made that fatal mistake of not being straight when I stabbed it again.
Oh.
and the car just jumped hard to the left and right into the guardrail. And I tried to get her away from the guardrail, and it just kind of sucked me right into it, and I rode that thing down pretty much about that first exit right there, and
man,
tore it up a little bit there. Shut the races down for a couple hours because I wiped out the 8th mile photoelectric eyes and I ran up against the guardrail. So yeah, I did a lot of damage right there. And it was also basically a point was, okay, let's start over from scratch and start over on the car. So basically stripped it all the way down, took it to Robert Beasley over in Joplin, and he did all the body work on it. Did a new cage, all 25.5. And if you look real close, I think that's Shannon.
Yep. Shannon and Kurt, you thought?
I think it might be Kurt that's looking under there. They both helped me load the car back then because we had a heck of time getting in an enclosed trailer because all the tires are down. You know how this goes.
Yep.
But it took a while to get that thing off the track and into the trailer and everything. Screwed it up pretty good.
So Kurt did the cage in it, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And
did
Beasley
a
painted
full.
it.
Yeah, Beasley painted it. Did a new cage. Changed the front end over so that it was lift off front end. So it's basically like a fiberglass front end, but it's still all steel. Because at that time in Mako, you had to have steel fenders and doors. So we retained. I mean, it's stripped quite a bit, and the doors have nothing in them, but they're steel. Yep. And that was the rules for Mako. You couldn't have fiberglass front end or doors, just the bumper, trunk deck, hood, stuff like that. So it was very similar to this limited street that you're talking about back then in Mako Real Street. So yeah, that was an expensive mistake there, but I learned a lesson then. I've tried to not do it anymore, to not pedal the car if it wasn't straight and settle down.
Yeah.
It's a hard lesson to learn.
And then you said Beasley painted it. You produced the best looking blue car that I think I've ever seen. I'm not a blue guy, but this thing looks so good. Man, it's crazy how awesome that car looked when it was painted. Man,
he did an awesome job.
He did.
There's an awful lot of pearl in that paint.
Yeah. And this jumps to 2013, and there's Adam in the other lane in his Camaro.
Yeah, Adam Wright. This has got to be one of the Mako races. There at Mocan, I believe it looks like Mocan.
There's like Barry Burke behind you, the white skunk, right?
Yep, that's Barry.
But yeah. 2013. This is also 2013. You had this labeled as going to tech at Kid. Yeah,
that's Mike Peters.
Yep,
is helping me out that day and was pushing it over to tech. That was I think one of the first times, pretty much one of the first times I had the car out. It was just kind of getting all the bugs out of it and stuff like that. And I think that was one of the first times I raced over it after the wreck. First time I'd raced over there at Kid again.
Wow. This is this the same race? This says 2013 Kid. That's Clint Downs.
It is Clint Downs.
Right.
And I remember not too many years before that, me and my buddy Daryl talked Clint and Bob into bringing that car to Mako and race with us. He was testing tuning. I believe it was in Wichita, and we seen him over there, was spectating one time, and Clint was over there, and Clint and Bob.
Bob Bales, right?
Bob Bales, said, hey, you guys need to come race with us in Mako. And of course, they're over around Oklahoma City.
Yep.
So it's kind of a long ways to go, but they, pretty much jumped right into Mako and became, a real fixture in that series.
I got a comment from it's Greg that races the 300 Chrysler here in their small tire stuff. It didn't pop up on the side here, but it's on my phone here. He says, I entered my Chrysler in Mako at Kid a long time ago. John Hurd made me and my slow junk feel welcome. Appreciate you, John.
Mm-hmm.
That's Greg Freebus, the black 300 Chrysler.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And that thing's mean for what it is, you know.
Yeah.
I know he had a lot of plans for that car coming up. I don't know. I haven't talked to him for a while. We pitted next to each other a year or two ago. He was telling me all the stuff he had planned for it, and sounds like it's going to be a pretty evil piece once it gets probably heavy still, but maybe got some weight out of it.
I think it's in Missouri right now at a chassis shop.
Oh yeah, Tydo?
I think that's no. I think it's at Moore.
Oh yeah,
I think so. I think I had just seen some stuff a week or two ago, and he commented, and I was like, "Hey, that must be where his car is at," because the comment he made me kind of put the puzzle together. So he can confirm or deny here, but I think it's over in Missouri at their shop.
I think that car with some chassis and lightening up and getting some chassis work, that's going to be a serious piece sometime.
Yeah,
he was making some big gains.
Yeah, he was right there towards the last. Yeah,
yes,
he was.
Yes,
most definitely.
Yep,
he was picking up a lot.
Yep, this 2013 Mocan.
Yeah, again, I don't know if that. I think that might have been Hot Summer Nights. Maybe one of the first ones. That's definitely right off the paint job. Oh, there's Dwayne Mills.
Yeah, 2014 Mocan.
Yeah, he was racing Jason Wheeler's car there for a while. And regular fixture there at the Mako stuff. Oh.
Okay. This is 2015 Mako at Kid. Is this the final?
This is the last Mako race.
Okay.
The very last race in Mako is Mike Peters and I in the final.
Yep.
And I got lucky and won that one. And it was kind of neat because I'd never won a race in Mako. I'd gotten a final, finals or runner up or, stuff like that, but I'd never won one. So it was kind of bittersweet to win the very last one. But I was always disappointed because whoever won, and I think I won the points championship that year too. But because Mako died that year, there was no T-shirt. See, every year you got your T-shirt car on the car if he was the champion, and it was done. It's like, damn it, I didn't get that T-shirt. Because I've got everybody's T-shirts, all the years.
Yeah.
And like Craig's and everybody's T-shirts from their championships. It's like, man, I wanted that so bad, and I never did get it.
And here you are in the final with your buddy Mike Peters and his knife to the gunfight. He brings his NA small block car.
Yeah. No, it had nitrous.
Oh, was it nitrous? Okay.
Yeah, he had a little nitrous plate on it.
So the small block side of it was the difference. It was a small block deal.
Yes.
And it could be light.
That car is very light. Mike just sold it here this year, I believe it was. And somebody, I think the car's still in Wichita.
Does that Goose have it, Gary?
I think so. Yeah, I think we saw it at the spring at the No Prep race in Arc City, right? That March or April, whenever that was. I think we saw it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gary, why don't you take 30 seconds, bring our marketing partners in?
Yes, good catch. Let's take a second to give a shout to our 2024 partners, Mid-America Dragway, Ultra Color Collision Repair, Harry Street Carpet, and Sandlin Iron and Metal being great sponsors in 2024. Great partners. Let me get back to this. Where was we at? There. Yes. Then we go to 2015 E1 Throwdown at T-Town, and then there's the orange Phillips car.
Yeah, there's Tony. I started having a lot better luck about this time in racing. We started winning some races and actually making some laps, and things were starting really to fall together pretty good. And I don't think I got very far at that particular throwdown race, but I always liked that picture, so I had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, that's a good picture.
I think Tony spun. I don't think I was out on him that bad. I think he probably spun. Trying to make Tony feel a little better there.
Mrs. Mike Peters says, lucky ? Laugh out loud. John was out of his car by the time I got to the return road. Goose still has the Chevelle, I think.
Getting his picture taken.
Oh, man. Then we go to 2016 Denton.
Oh, yeah. You
is
might
that-
recognize that redhead right beside
Is that
me.
Devin Brown right there?
That's Devin Brown.
Was he about 12 years old in that picture?
No.
Carrot Top.
Hey, let's see, 16 for that's 8 years ago. He's about 20 years old then, 19 or 20.
Yeah, he was
Ish.
driving the Silver Bullet then. I'm
Man.
pretty sure most of the time. And I'm not sure if that was the race or not, but that might have been the one where they blew the bottom end out of the car there at Denton.
Oh.
But yeah, this is when we first started going down to Denton. I don't know if did you guys ever go there?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, this is really our first time being on a track that was that good. And it was like, I remember Bob Bales at me we was talking about my car, and it's like, man, I got a bog in it. I'm not too sure why it's there. He goes, dude, it's a track. So it's taking the power out of your car.
Yes.
And I was like, what? And it's like, yeah, no shit, you got to turn it up. It's like, okay. And he was right. It was just,
Right.
we used to have a tiny bit of tire speed there on a local track, and you get on Denton when it was in A1 shape, and there was no tire slippage. It was glue heaven, and I think that's why everybody loved it. As compared, yeah, that was a big weekend.
Kevin says that was a big bang fire of a weekend.
Yeah. I don't know if you ever seen the pictures of that, but that explosion blew the crank, the torque converter, the bottom of the cylinders. Basically, it looked like a top fuel motor explosion. The whole thing went down on the track. And Devin,
Dang.
I think he had a little lady luck on his shoulder and a little bit of, or maybe a lot of skill, but he kept it off the wall. And he drove through a hell of a bunch of oil. And we were so happy that he didn't get hurt, but it was just one of these moments because he was, driving all over his oil whenever that happened. But it shook the whole bottom end out of that thing.
Devin, he
Bad.
says he'll send pictures.
Yeah, you should. I think they used it in some memes there for a while for some of the nitrous companies.
Right.
We took Keith's wagon down there testing one time.
Yeah.
And he's in the car, strapped in, got his helmet on, buckled in. I'm back on the driver's side tire, checking tire pressure, getting him ready. He's coming around the curve, almost ready, and I hear him go, blah, 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 blah. And I said, yeah. I just give him a yeah. I thought he said, is the tires good? Well, I was checking tires. Yeah, they're good. So he gets up and does the burnout, launches the car. It was the twin turbo small block Ford, and it goes, bruh. And I was like, oh man, there's no CO2.
Oh shit.
His question wasn't, are the tires good? His question was, is the CO2 on? And all I heard was Charlie Brown's parents was, yeah, the tires are good. I'm right here, man. No, the CO2 was turned off.
Oops.
That was a waste. Yeah. Yeah, that's a cool place. I never got to race there.
You missed out. I mean, it had a pretty short track. I just about had a bad wreck there one time. As you know, I wear glasses, and most of the time, a lot of times I could put my shield down, but if it's really humid out, which in Texas in the summer, a lot of times is, I made the mistake. I thought it was dry enough that I could shut my visor, and I get about halfway down the track and I can't see shit. And I don't know if you remember that place, but they had a golf cart track at the end of the track and a great big stop sign. And all I could think of was that stop sign and that concrete wall coming up at me. And it's like, I couldn't see shit. It's like, fuck it. And I just turned it left. I lifted and turned left. And I went between the first and the second and the last return road right into the grass. But it's man, I'm not running into the end of this thing. I can't see it. I don't know where I'm at. And yeah, that wasn't a fun thing. So I got a little bit more careful about my glasses, but I put a paint in the car after that. Todd Moyer showed me how he did his car, and he put a little tiny computer fan up on the roll cage, which helps immensely. It's a little bit of air slide,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course, but it works pretty good.
Looks like you got some bullhorns now.
Yeah, yeah. Kurt made those headers
Fire.
for me, and we did a few more. That was after another round of weight reduction, which was Mike Peters approved at the time. Mike's always given me a hard time about what everything weighs
Yep.
since I started playing with this car, I think. And so we got some more weight out of it, and it was getting closer to race weight for X. And yeah, it was good. I think that was probably the 588 back then.
That was 2016 Denton. Then we go 2016 Ozark. There's Phillips again.
Yeah.
And there's
Tony-
fire out of your pipes again.
Yeah, there's the
Definitely.
Gorilla Flames.
Man, I tell you what, Tony and I have had so many good close races. It was to the point there in 2016, 2017. 2016, I came about, I don't know, just a handful of points away from getting the track championship. But the whole year and in 2017, it was just back and forth. Tony and I, Russell, Tony and I, it's just kind of neck and neck all the time. And it almost got to the point where we'd be down at the shutdown, and Goose would come around the corner and say, "Hey, next one's our turn." And it was always, that was a continuous joke between us. It's my turn this week, and but started racing over at Ozark back then, and met another bunch of good guys. Tony and their crew, Browns and their crew, Russell and those guys. Had a lot of fun with them, and like I said, Tony and I had some really close races. I mean, we were neck and neck almost all the time, it seemed like. And I think we both had a little bit of habit running past the finish line a little bit. Oh, it's his turn.
Tony says, pretty sure it's my turn next time we meet. Oh, you guys are still keeping score.
There you go.
Apparently.
That's funny. We got 2016 Throwdown. This is Tulsa.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything spectacular about that particular race. There's probably one of the last small tire races at Throwdown, I think.
Yeah.
Right around that time, we quit having them there. They, kind of didn't like us radio guys griping about the track, I guess. And
Yep.
but we always had a lot of fun at Throwdowns. Always had a big turnout. Lots of people there. Lots of fun racing. I think that's Tony behind me. He must have went out early.
Oh, yeah. The orange shirt
Yeah,
there.
there's the black hat. Yeah.
Yeah. The gray shirt.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Tony.
Yeah. Right on. 2018 Ozark. Is that Russell?
That's Russell Foreman. And did he call that Black Betty? I think he did. That sound right, Russell?
Man, got all the flames in one shot.
Yeah, there's lots of Gorilla Flames going on in this one.
Yeah, there's some cooking hot dogs there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I said, we had a lot of good races. There's Odie Sturgeon.
Yep, Odie. You and Odie
Tulsa.
at Tulsa, 2018. What's
I
this?
didn't get to race much with OTT5. I don't think I ever got to race with OTT5. I kind of missed out on that some. That was pretty much a Oklahoma City, sometimes Tulsa deal. But I'd like to got, involved with that a little bit more back then. Odie was a good guy. I did his website for him shortly after that. Started taking care of his quality air company stuff.
Right.
Cool.
That's another Odie.
Yep, Odie there, 2018. And you go to 2019 Outlaw Streetcar Reunion Bowling Green.
Yeah, that was a Midwest Pro Mod Series race and X race, both, I believe. And that was a fun. Yeah, that's I guess the second time I'd ever been to Bowling Green, and man, that's such a cool place.
It is.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys go to that one? I think Gary, you did, didn't you?
No, I think I've been there a couple times, but way before 2019. But
Yeah. I went
last
like
time I've been there,
with the World 4 Challenge back in the day.
I think 2013 was the last time I was there for Drag Week with Keith.
That was, if I remember right, that was in the spring, early spring, and the trees had just started to put on all the pollen, and it was just nuts. Just the yellow pollen freaking everywhere coming out of the trees. I still had, like, for 2 years, I had yellow pollen on my ramps on my trailer. It was just embedded in the plastic.
Man,
It was bad. If you had any asthma or
allergies,
you'd been in trouble.
Man, this is a
Rough.
great picture right here, John.
it is. Russell
Yeah.
says John drug my ass that year every time we raced. Yeah, that's an awesome picture right there, man. That is a good looking car.
Thanks, bud.
2019 Mid America Dragway, you and Travis Gore.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Was this
Started going
2019 the first year that Arc City opened back up, right?
I think so.
I think so too. I was trying to think of that when I was doing this picture, and
Seems about right.
yeah. You and Travis.
That Jordan Campbell backing you up?
Yeah, I believe so. I think he was lining me up. But that was some good racing too, and I still like Mad a lot. I think the last race with last year when he was there, that track prep has just really come around a lot.
Boy, it's a whole different place from 2019.
Yes, sir.
Man.
2019, it was kind of hit or miss. Sometimes you'd get a good one, sometimes, and of course, how it got when it got cold.
Yeah.
Things kind of went away. But and I was still hedging my bets last year when we was racing there. I was like, started cooling off. It was in the 50s that night. Before it was like test and tune that night before.
Yep.
I was like, man, I don't think I'm going to try it because historically, if anything, I've learned a little bit is, if you've raced enough tracks, you race enough different people, you kind of get a feel for if you should bother or should not, if it's going to, usually when it's in the 50s, I get really concerned about it.
Yep.
I don't know if years ago at Kid, I was racing Kendall Dean in one of the small tire summer nationals or fall nationals or whatever it was. And I think it was it's either the finals or semifinals, and Kendall broke. And he decided to bring his tow truck up, his pull truck, to race. And technically that probably wasn't legal, but they let him do it, and I didn't gripe about it. It's like, okay, whatever. So I thought, it was good. It was about 50. It's getting pretty chilly out. And I thought, no, I'm not going to turn the nitrous on.
If it was out here, it was probably 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning by then.
I think it probably was. It's really cold. It's like, okay, I'm not turning the nitrous on. We'll just run it on the motor. There's no way, he's going to catch me in these tow truck. And we take off, and it's like, a nitrous car is a dog without any nitrous in it. And blah, And dude, I get out there about 330, 400 foot, and it breaks loose. And it's hard. I mean, it just, it's like, and I lifted, and I'm sitting there and think, oh shit, the truck's coming. I better get back in there. I'll never hear the end of it if he beats me in that pickup truck.
Yeah, that's right.
But I've begun a lot of respect for, temperature and, hot, cold track conditions, things like that. Certain things I don't think is too wise to race in. And that was one of them,
Yeah. Late like that, you could see the roof and stuff getting wet.
Oh yeah. All the dew. Yeah.
And when you see that, it's scary.
Yeah.
That it already gets in your head.
Yeah. You're already thinking, I've raced at Wichita a lot of different times, in a lot of different conditions. I remember pulling up to the staging lanes one time, and the lightning in the background was just constant. We knew the storm front was coming in, was trying to get the final round in or whatever it was, semis or whatever we was in at the point in time. And, all this lightning going off. I remember looking over to the signs, and they were just flapping, from the wind. It's like, oh shit. So I ain't throwing the chute.
Right.
I didn't know what the wind was doing down there. And no more got around the corner, and it just freaking drenched everybody. And they ended up calling the race. But yeah, just so many different wild track conditions we've raced in over the years. Kind of crazy.
This picture here, Travis Gore says, I'm sure he was getting ready to drag me as usual.
Maybe, you never know.
Yeah, never know. Picture jumps us to 2020 Ozark at a Halloween race. You and Chopper. And there's Travis lurking back there. Back.
Yeah, he's coming around the corner.
Yeah, that's his nose there. Yep. You
This
and Chopper.
is one of the
Nitrous
funniest races I've had. Chopper and I were going into the final, and it was, I think all the pay went to the winner, and we were discussing splitting. And we're both friends and stuff, and it's like we were kicking around numbers, and I think we ended up at 60-40. Winner takes 60, loser takes 40. And I said, and I want all your candy. This is a deal where you had to put all your candy out for the kids, where they come around and get the candy. And his pit crew had been eating candy all day long. It's like, I want all your candy. So I won it. It was freaking hilarious. I got, won the race, and I went a 449, and I think he went a 451, or it was a pretty close race. But we just barely edged him out and took home all his candy.
Hey, so look at this picture. Look at John's car. Look 3 people to the right of John's car. From the door to the right. That looks like Goose.
Oh, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
He pops up everywhere.
Yeah.
That looks like Goose.
Goose stands behind all the cars and watches what they're doing. He's like, a super spy back there.
He's
and
everywhere.
Shelby's back there writing down the ETs, the reaction times, and everything. She's Miss Analyst. You won't see Shelly exactly, but she's the one writing down everything.
I see Josh Mathis there as well.
Josh, and there's Tydo. Yep.
It looks like just from this side, John, that Chopper's got you on the nitrous fogger for height.
Yeah.
Probably.
A little purrs there.
Too much out there and not enough through the jets.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So that's 2020. Yep. That's Halloween. Maybe these are a little out of order, but this is, or maybe not. 2020 Texas. Is this Houston?
Yeah.
Because I was thinking, well, this is Annis, but Annis don't have grass up front there like that.
No.
This is the one by Galveston, Texas Raceway Park. Is that the name of it?
Houston?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we went down there. That was the next 275 race out there, which was really cool race. And I had my best 60-foot ever, but I messed up my shocks and we tore up the transmission, and really long way to pull to break parts, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Looks like Brian
I did
Brooks.
a 105.1 on the back tire at that race.
Wow.
Yeah, Troy says Houston was a great track. Yep.
It was really good prep.
Did you know Brian next to you?
Brooks?
Yeah.
A little bit. Not real well. I knew Kurt knew him. He did some work on the car, but I don't know it. I haven't really talked to him much. Just a little bit in the lanes, on and off.
Yeah, good guy.
He was from Wichita, wasn't he? Originally,
Colorado.
Colorado.
He's got some ties to Wichita.
Okay. He did race with us in MSRA back in the day.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. I know he knew Kurt, and Kurt did some work on the car.
Sure.
I don't know if he moved to Colorado or, how that all worked out.
Yeah. Cool.
2020 Throwdown. This is, I don't know if it's before or after that Houston deal, but I think it's a little out of order, but you and Chopper again.
I know it was hot. I remember that one.
And up in the top left, it says Midwest Pro Mod Series.
It was.
Yeah.
And I remember that race. I underestimated the starting line. I thought it was still going to be hot, and I forgot about the shade that the tower throws over the starting line. So I left a little bit out of it, and Chopper schooled me on that one.
Right on.
Man.
I was being too conservative. I thought we'd have a hot track still. I come around the corner and think, oh, shit. Starting lines in shade.
Yeah.
Shelly and Kurt says John is a great racer and friend.
Same here.
Yep. This is 2021 Mad 275 Madness.
There
Some
you go.
fire out of the pipes.
I'm not sure. That might have been the Wally race. I'm not remember which one.
Oh
it
man.
was. Gary's probably, or Rodney's probably still mad about that one.
Hey, at least we got
like
like
3
right?
races I want back. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I'm not talking about races. I'm talking about round. You know, that particular race. You know.
Yeah.
John let us see it and touch it, didn't he? That Wally? Yeah.
I don't remember. Yeah,
I don't remember.
I think so.
That's funny.
Yeah. This is Ozark 2021. There's a bunch of orange.
Yes, there is.
Orange, the orange crew.
Yep.
On a hunting trip.
So the Chevelle, was that Jason Flowers or was that like Craig? Is that his name? Craig Ampmeyer or something like that?
Yeah. Jason used to own it, and then Craig got it. Yeah. Used to do a lot of racing over at Ozark. It was a good place back then.
Yeah.
That's a good question, Gary.
I see that. Nitrous guy, Zach West says, what color flames do you want, blue or orange? What ones are good and what ones are bad?
Well, red is mean. She's got timing in her. She's burning hot. Blue is timing's out of it. It's cool, more or less. When the flames go away completely, she's evil. She's real evil.
Does that mean it's real lean?
No, that means there's timing in that bitch.
Oh,
you're laying it to it hard.
Yeah.
Tony says the ones that look like sparklers is usually never good.
Those aren't, no.
Oh man. Well, that's when you put on a show.
Months.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
If you watch those nitrous cars a lot of time, the color of the flames as they go down the track, you kind of tell what they're doing at the timing.
Yeah, like we see Russell Foreman's car, and it starts out nothing, and as it goes, the flames grow as it goes down the track. It's really cool.
Because he launches without no nitrous. He waits until he's about 300 foot out to turn that beast on.
Man.
Here's the secret. I think he's got like 8 or 9 kits on that.
Yeah, I think it's 10 kits, and it's like
There you go.
2,000 cubic inch.
Yeah.
Zach says, I've always been a turbo guy, but there's just something about them flames.
Oh, there is.
Yeah.
That's why I'd have a hard time going to zoomies, even though, they're kind of cool too. But those big bull horns, I don't know if you remember Purple Gorilla Pro Mod, used to have those gigantic, flames over the fenders. That's just cool.
Yeah.
I know they went from the collector, the big bullhorn, to the zoomies, and they started winning. It picked up some substantial power. So they may not be the fastest thing, but they're definitely cool.
It's cool looking. Maybe that sells t-shirts.
It might.
This is 2021 Mad.
Yeah. Trying to think.
Cool picture.
Cool picture.
Yeah, that's the one with the swirly. I always thought that was kind of cool looking. I forget who took that, but it's a pretty neat one.
It looks like Chopper's rig back over the roof of your car there.
That is Chopper's.
Yep. This is also 2021 Mad. This is a staging lane photo. I'm even in there.
Wow.
Yeah.
And Rodney and Marvin's truck.
Linker.
Mock's car, Jesse Mitchell, Jason Flowers, Ron Rich. Yep, that's cool.
It's a fun place to race.
It is. It's
Agreed.
And I've always liked the crew there, and the track owners always so friendly. Good bunch of folks there.
Well said.
Russell says no timing equals big flames, not blue flames, but they equal big flames.
Yeah, and they're usually going to be blue too if it's no timing.
This is 2021 Texas. So that's Texas Radio Roundup.
You were at that one, Gary.
Yeah.
Huh?
You guys were there.
Yes.
That's the one where I got the car wouldn't start.
Yep.
And it was the third round. No, second round. I beat Clint Downs first round, and we were coming up Who was it? The red Camaro. Which I was going to get my ass whipped. I knew that going on, going into that, but the car wouldn't start under the tower there.
Yep.
And it's like, what in the hell is wrong here? And he had started his car, and Jason Brown dove under the car, found the wire that was loose on the starter, stuck it on, and we fired up, and he had just finished his burnout and was backing up, and I was pulling up there, and they threw the rope across the lane, wouldn't let me go. It's like, dude, I just wanted to make a pass, Yeah. It wasn't, he had me covered, there's no doubt about that, but we had just went, I think 441 the pass before, and I wanted that 30, and we was there for that 30. It would have been a 30 pass, and it's like, dang it.
Right.
We just got pulled off, what can you do? But apparently this is where I learned there is no 2-minute rule in HRA. That's not true. Everybody thinks that you got 2 minutes. It's up to the starter's discretion.
Yeah, you got hosed on that deal.
No,
I felt like it, but again, all I really wanted to do is get that 30 out of the car. Sure. And I thought it was there, and it's like, dude, had it turned up, and I wanted to get a good pass in, and just to lose it that quick, that really sucked.
Yep. I was on the starting line there in that deal, and was waiting on you, and you got fired up, and it's like, cool, it's gonna happen, and then they shut you off, and you were on the side, and that was that. So what in the hell?
They put a rope across the track.
Yeah.
And told me to go to the pits. It's like, what the hell? So I just went to the pits. I didn't know, am I leaking? What's going on? I didn't have a clue other than I was told not to run. But yeah, and we looked at it later. It wasn't 2 minutes. It was, from the time he fired his car up, is like a minute and a half at even that.
Right.
Because we were fighting it when the other guy was starting up, and it was like, what the hell's wrong? And Jason just jumped into the car, stuck the wire back on the starter, had one of those spade terminals.
Yep.
And it just, for some reason, decided to fall off.
Sure.
And he stuck it back on there, fired up, went up there, and boom, go back to pits.
If I was to roll back in my Facebook post, then I might have been live while that was going on.
I think you were.
I probably was.
There. Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised.
And then in this picture, there's Ding Dong right there. I'm live.
There he is.
See right there?
Yeah.
I grabbed this picture. I'm like, hey, I'm right there.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, sign some autographs, Gary.
Man, I don't know. Yeah, that's a fun race. It's going to be in November, early November this year, and we're going to go. It's going to be cool. We're going to take a snow shovel because you never know. Snow shovel, an ice pick, some ice melt, some de-icer for the windows. You
probably
never know.
Some heat for the fuel system.
Right.
Taking a motor home.
This goes now to 2022 at Mocan. Rodney, we was there.
Yep, hot summer nights.
Yes, and it was hot. Yes.
Yeah. That was my grudge race against Justin, and I did beat him. But I got lucky. He spun. I didn't.
I spun every time I released the brake that weekend.
Did you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was having a terrible weekend.
I don't remember what problem I think he was on here. I don't remember what the problem he's having. I think they were triggering the beams or something under the car, and it was jacking with him when he was trying to stage, and then he had trouble spinning. I think he had a tire going flat. That was the problem.
Oh, man.
And it was too low in the front, and he didn't realize it. And so it was jacking him up staging, and he was just having troubles, and I didn't have any trouble, and we just went right on down. But I've never won that hot summer nights. I've probably been to, 90% of them, and I never won that one.
Right.
Did you have a crank trigger issue or something in between rounds? I mean, you got it fixed, but was that this night?
At this one, I think I did have crank trigger problem, and I think Jason loaned me a spare. Oh, it came loose. Crank trigger sensor came loose. Or no, it was the cam sync. Cam sync came loose.
There you go.
And Jason loaned me a spare one, and I got it fixed, and we got going again. And I think I got beat by who was it? The Blues Brothers.
Mason.
Yeah, they took me out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mason.
Yeah. I think he might have won the whole thing.
Yeah, he did. I'm pretty sure he did.
Scott Willis says because country club racers struggle with real world AHRA racing at hometown tracks like Mocan Country Club.
Well, I know if Justin would have got down, it would have been all over. But it was just kind of a fun thing to have a off the trailer grudge race.
And there's the last picture we got, 2022 Mocan.
Yep. And let's see. I think I raced like 3 times last year. Went to Centerville. No, twice last year. 3 times. Went to Centerville, Mocan, and that final race at Mad when Flip was helping me.
Right. Yep.
We're all going to miss him a lot.
Yes, for sure.
I just had a memory. I think it was during qualifying or something. I just happened to go a few pairs before you, and I was pulled over the side, and I remember Flip lining you up, and I think he tripped or fell over, or got stuck, or lost his shoe or something.
Yeah,
and
he went down. Yes,
he went down hard. He hurt himself a little bit.
Yeah,
he was kind of crippling around after that.
Yeah,
and then at that race, the battery was acting up, and it killed the starter right when it was going up for first round eliminations, I believe it was. But we went. God, I think we had a fairly decent pass. I know the track was better than I expected it to be, but yeah, I don't know why the starter decided to die when the battery is acting up. I reached up there and hit the button, went crank, and it broke the drive in the starter. So it was done.
Man.
Always something.
Yeah.
Ron Rich says it's always been such a good-looking car.
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah.
Larry Hunt says Leaf Springs putting in work.
Larry did the springs for that car.
Okay.
Oh, well, there you go.
So the nitrous stuff, have you ever been interested in doing a supercharger or a turbo?
Oh, I wouldn't rule that out. I think one of the big reasons it's always been nitrous is because you kind of do what you know.
Yeah.
And that's, I started at that a long time ago, and I feel like I know it half-assed well. But you got to admit, I'm at the point where, I'd like to play with boost with something. I don't know what kind of boost I'd want to do. Kicked around some ideas about a Roots, kicked around some ProCharger ideas, turbo. I don't have any, just something to be fun to play with, something new to learn. And there is a steep learning curve with that, which is probably one of the reasons why I didn't want to do it when I was racing, quite often. And at this point in time, I'm considering, it might be kind of fun to play with something different. I wouldn't oppose to going a turbo or, a big blower or something just for shits and giggles, something new to play with.
I've got a 118 for sale.
Do you?
I do.
That'd probably be pretty good on a big block.
Sure it would.
I know Devin's been, 420 with that? 430 with this street car? That's like a 3,500 pounds or something.
Tony Phillips says it's like a damn spaceship inside. Lots of electronics in that thing.
Yeah, there is a lot of stupid shit in there.
Scott Willis says, I can help you blow up some parts in your wallet. Your toe in the water. Oh, man. Troy says one thing about John, he always stays upbeat and would sit and talk with you. One of the good ones, always look for at the track to talk to you with and see him out racing. Hoping to see that Nova back out again.
There you go.
Thanks, Troy.
When did you got Holly on it right now?
Yeah, about 2 years ago, I put Holly FI on it, and Mike Thompson helped me initially getting it all squared away. I don't know if you guys know Mike Thompson, but he does Dean Marinas and
Cameron,
Ron Rhodes, and a lot of those fast guys. And he got me really close, and I just kind of took it from there and started playing with it. And that opened up a relationship with Devin over at HCR. I do his website for him, and buy a lot of things from him here and there. Also playing around with the car quite a bit. Put the Davis traction control stuff on it, and that got a relationship going with Shannon Davis. So now I do his website.
So so with that, your occupation is website stuff like that, and you got your hand in some aftermarket people's websites, right?
A bunch of them, yeah. About 20.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
wow.
do Marty's, right?
Marty and Devin and Shannon, right?
Yeah,
That's a cool
Yeah.
relationship you got there then.
it is good. It's a lot of fun getting some backroom knowledge about different things, you know. And you talk about sponsorship. I don't really have sponsorship, but I've got a lot of people that I can call if I need a question answered or figure something out. I can
That's
call
worth a
Shannon
lot.
Davis. He will talk to me just about any time of the day. You know, I got a hotline to him, and he's got a hotline to me when the website don't work, or hey John, you know, the shipping deal isn't working right. You know, he's got my number too, so that works out pretty well. And I think that's one of the unique things that I've done with racing is I've kind of made a business of it in a way. I mean, not all my clients are race car companies, but quite a few of them are. And when I get involved with the company buying parts from them, a lot of times I end up doing their website for them. I mean, like Neil and Parks, I do their website.
Oh yeah,
Scott Parks and Frank, which develops a lot more relationships with those guys. You know, the guys over at Innovators West, you know, Chris, I do their website. And I came a pretty long list of different companies that I work with.
That's awesome.
It's a way of sponsoring the car in the way as most of the stickers on the back of that car are companies I work for and do their websites for. And I don't know that I really, in fact, I probably don't get a discount because most of my stuff is retail. Because it's all about trying to keep even, you know, with my bills and what I buy from them. You try and keep even with each other in a way. But you know, there's a lot of advantages in that. Like I said, if I need something done, you know, a lot of times I get a little bit extra, you know, help out. And I do the same thing for them. They need something that's on a weekend or a nighttime, you know, I take care of them as well. So it works out pretty good.
Awesome.
Very cool. So before the show, I'm gonna bring it up now. You know, we were talking about you coming over and racing some limited and that sort of thing, and brought up, you know, just checking plugs after the end of the race and the whole like a lot of extra fuel just driving the car around and that sort of thing. So, you know, let's just talk through it as far as, you know, what your thoughts are there.
Well, I don't care for that rule. And there's two very specific reasons that I don't care for that drive to the lanes and back. Is one, it's not friendly to a nitrous car. Nitrous cars, you typically want to check your plugs at the end of a pass, see where you're at on the tune-up. A lot of these guys run these things close to the edge, and the plugs are an early indicator of a problem. You know, if you take a tip off a plug, or you know, you can see, you know, that you're getting it too hot. You want to calm it down some for whatever reason. But we watch plugs religiously, which is not good. It costs us a lot of money nowadays to pull plugs and put fresh plugs in every pass. But if you're really leaning on a nitrous car, that's something that's pretty much necessary. And no, you can't just pull one at the end of the track. You got to pull all of them. You got to look at them. That's unless you have your tune-up really dialed in pretty solid and you're not trying to change stuff, then you really need to be looking at them. So that's a problem for a nitrous car. The other side of it is we're not burning cheap fuel. And if you're having to drive to the lanes and back, you're going to use probably, I don't know, at least quarter, maybe half a gallon of fuel doing this stuff. And that stuff's not cheap. It does add up. Overall cost of the car to run it. In my car, we don't, I run it without a radiator. You know, there's a 1.5 gallon fuel tank in it. So it's not really set up to do that. It's not that I couldn't change it over to that. I haven't decided that I want to do that yet. If I do put a radiator in it and bigger fuel cell and all that stuff, I'll probably still race occasionally, but being more geared towards a drag and drive sort of thing. You know, I'll probably put some weight in it, you know, as far as different seats. I mean, it's got a carbon fiber seat and all that, which ain't very good to drive around on, but I'll probably tune it down and put put a smaller jet in it, and obviously it's going to need a different camshaft and shit to do that kind of thing. But as far as the rule goes, I mean, just rolling back to Mako, Jeff used to have a rule that you had to drive it to the lanes. And on the way back, you had to drive it to the scales, and then you could shut it off and push it the rest of the way. That wasn't really all that well received back then, but back then we weren't leaning on them like we are now. I mean, that was, people were running 570s, 540s or something like that. It's not a low 4-second kind of thing like it is today. So they weren't being as aggressive. It's not that we shouldn't have been doing it back then, but it wasn't the same kind of thing. But that used to be back then. And the thing I've got about it is, what do you gain from having a rule like that? Not anything that I can see of any value. I don't think we're fooling anybody that these are street cars.
Right.
Not that they can't be driven on the street. We had that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think the average spectator really gives a shit if you start your car up and drive it to the lanes or not. I don't think that matters.
Right. Good point.
Good point.
So
good point.
And again, everybody's got opinions. You know how that goes, but that's mine.
Travis Moore agrees with you.
Yeah.
And Travis is a booster guy,
Yeah. So
well, he's running the fuel as well, right? We were talking about that. So there's some cost there.
Everybody's burning fuel.
A nitrous guy, if he really wanted to do it hardcore, he'd have to make his pass. If he really wanted to do it and keep track of his stuff, make his pass, get out, pull the hood, put 8 different plugs in it, snatch them hot plugs to read them, put the hood back on or whatever, and then make his way back to the pit. But that's going to take time. A hardcore guy, maybe James Foreman is going to do that, but that's what he'd have to do, right? It'd be hot.
Yeah.
Well, you could probably, jet the car down where you ain't being quite so aggressive with it. And once you get the tune up pretty much on point, you're not going to change it. You're really going to lean into it. You'd probably be okay, but you go change the tune up, you start throwing more timing to it. You start trying different things, changing fuel, whatever. You're going to want to look at the plugs, and that's not conducive to doing that at all. And you don't want 3 guys pulling their plugs out at the turnaround at Mocan.
Right.
There ain't no room.
There's no room down there.
If you're going to do that, I'm going to pit down there.
Right.
Right. Yes. Good. Yeah.
To your point, there's strategy and pitting, if you're talking about that too.
Back in the Mako days, I don't remember who used to do this, but they would push to the start of the staging lanes, start the car up for like quarter second, and then drive it, just let it, kill it and let it just roll up to the front. That was driving to the staging lanes, because in the rules it does not say how far you have to drive to the staging lane. So that's what would go on.
Yeah. Yeah, this is good, interesting stuff, because you're the first nitrous guy we've talked to about the limited stuff. We know James is coming on their side, and we may snatch him up sometime and talk to them about it. But you're the first nitrous guy we've talked to.
And I'm sure Russell's thinking the same thing. Is they'll be okay if they don't step on too hard and they don't get too crazy with it. But it's not nitrous friendly. It's a waste of fuel. I don't really see why. Is there, why, other than you're trying to keep a nitrous car out, why would you want that rule? And Russell's been around nitrous many years, so he knows what's going on with that. And
after that run, instead of putting, changing the plugs or something after the run, maybe Russell will just put pistons in it down there before he comes back to the trailer. Just throw some slugs in it real quick. Some soldiers.
That was scary, Russell. That would mean
pull the back up out of the trailer, stick her in there.
They were called soldiers, right? Put some new soldiers. Right. Scott Willis says, as far as street cars go, Rodney is no stranger to test hits on West Street, albeit long time ago.
Oh, man.
Come on, Rodney.
Yes, sir. Bringing it back there. That's some memories right there.
Man. Yeah, that's good conversation. That's great stuff.
Yeah.
Are your doors steel, or what kind of material they made up? Steel doors?
Stock doors.
Yeah, you're good. You are good to go.
Bring it.
It's legal. I mean, she can run, 440s.
Woo!
Bring it.
Dang.
technically that class is a 420 class, really. I mean, that's what they're running in X, and there's no reason why. Hell, look at the all steel all glass cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're the 3s.
Man, you're
Yeah.
scaring me.
Well, that's just the matter. I mean, it's racing is stupid. I mean, we're all
Oh,
idiots
yeah.
doing this shit.
Sure.
And it's the whole thing is to go and have fun,
Yep.
enjoy time with your friends. And I've always looked at it like, if I can improve, the time I go out from the last time I was out, and I can either learn something or go a little quicker than I did the time before, I'm pretty good with it. I mean, it's like my friend Don, as long as you load that thing up on the end of the day and it's not, bleeding oil and,
right.
you haven't tore it up, then it's been a good day at the races.
That's exactly
Yep.
right.
At the end of the day, at the end of the race, Rodney says that a lot. At the end of the night when we're loading up. Yep.
Yeah. Got oil pressure.
Russell. Yeah, Russell Foreman says the drive is going to be the challenge for sure, but we're done. We're going to try it.
He's putting electric motors in the car. So they
Okay.
just shut it off, and they got this little aftermarket electric thing they stick on the back, and it's got, that's
He's
what
got
he's
one of
got going on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
remote.
great.
I've seen those. Have you seen those deals? They're
No.
like they've got a thing out that's remote that you can move the car with.
Oh, yes, I have. Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
Got those for our airplanes at work.
Like getting them out of the
There's-
trailer or whatever.
There's no rule that says you have to run it on the motor that's in the car.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
Oh, Larry, are you listening?
Now we're talking.
Oh, man, John.
It's Harper.
You're opening up the big can of worms.
Cool.
Oh, holy moly.
They need one of them just get you a push bar electric motor on it, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I was going to say the golf cart can't bring it down to you.
Larry's listening. He's here.
He's here.
Where's our winter rules meeting going to be?
He was maniac.
Are we gonna get together at PRI at a restaurant or what? Or at a
That's
motel
awesome.
room? Oh man, Crown and Coke and a rules meeting.
Cool.
Man, what a fun time, John.
Thanks
It's
for
been
coming
fun.
on. Great stories.
Yeah,
Great
enjoyed it.
pictures. Learned a lot about you. I thought I already knew you too, but just a lot of great action there. There's a theme as well, John, and I know Gary knows what I'm talking about, but every person we brought on here talks about how at one part of the program, how when they struggled at the beginning, and you even said that, you mentioned that, it's like, yeah, it just seemed like right here it all came around. I think it's with the bullhorns or something. You said that it all just kind of came to us, right? And I started doing better here. You were hitting the races 3 or 4 years before that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are just to think they can come out and dominate. It's just tough to do. And if you can, then hey, hats off to you. You're doing a lot.
Well, you can if you spend the money.
Yep.
We know how that works, but I think everybody takes time to get your
Yeah,
get your
just
sea
get it
legs under
figured
you,
out.
whatever.
Yeah, agree.
Yep.
Yeah.
It looks easy on paper.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, it always does.
yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Larry Hunt says, sounds like in the dumpster, bring the matches.
Here we go.
Oh, man.
Nice.
Yep. Yeah, I always enjoy talking to you at the track, John. You're fun to hang
Same
out
here.
with and fun to be around. I've never got
Same
to
here,
line
dude.
up next to you, I don't think, but maybe someday.
Well, maybe we did it one of these days down the road. You have to.
For sure.
I'm gonna be hitting you up for some drag and drive tips here.
Right on.
That's kind of the project going forward with the car. Eventually, I'll probably run it a little more like I have it here. But I've already started trying to look at water pumps and alternators and fuel systems and what I need to. I drove it to the car show last couple weeks ago. It's like, that was pretty cool. I mean, I really enjoyed that. And it's like Devin said, I want to get more time with the car and enjoy it more than just, sometimes racing and fighting it, in the heat and all that. I want to go play with it sometimes. So I think I'm going to work towards that a little bit.
Yeah.
And people on the outside enjoy seeing that too. Like you say, you went to a car show. People like to see that.
Oh yeah, they do.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Hot rods
pretty
are
neat
cool.
seeing a rumble going down the road.
Yep. Yes, sir. That's all the pictures we got. We're pretty caught up on comments. Tony has a good point. Tony Whitmore says, if I can't street drive it, I don't want to own it. That's my philosophy over here too.
You know, Craig, my buddy Watson, he, you know, I always kind of made fun of him. I didn't really make fun of him. He's always really picky about his car, not cutting it up too much. You know, he never cut the trunk apart. You know, there's just the weight saving things that we have to do to get down the weight. He never did those things. And now I'm like, man, I wish I really like to have a trunk that opened. You know, that would kind of be handy at times. You know, same thing. You know, we've messed them up so much to where they're hardly something you can use. I don't have windshield wipers. There's really no way of doing that again. And that mantra of being able to drive it, continue to drive it no matter what, I think it's pretty smart, actually. If you want to enjoy the car long term, if you're going to sell it, you know, I guess it don't really matter. If it's something you want to keep, though, I think that makes a big difference.
Yep. My engine guy, Mark Brown at Advanced Engine Machine, every engine he has done for me, I tell him if it don't stay cool and I can't drive it on the street, it's a piece of junk to me. I can't do nothing with it. I mean, I have no use for it, really.
Yeah.
So it needs to live.
Well, and that's, you know, you've got to a certain extent, watch things there, I guess. I mean,
Yep.
How big the cam is and just stupid shit you do for an all-out track or race car that you probably shouldn't do for a street car.
This small block I'm doing for limited street, he said, "Are you going to drive it on the street?" I said, "Yes." Okay, then he's got a different idea, you know, for camshaft profile. Stuff's got to live.
Have you seen how fast some of those? What's the LS hydraulic?
Yes.
Record? It's stupid.
Oh yeah.
I mean, aren't they like low fours or high threes?
Yep.
Yeah.
There's a Camaro that's been high threes. Oh yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, it's just. I mean, it's not that it's not. You can't run a hydraulic cam and run fast.
It's crazy. It's impressive. It's really cool.
Yeah, you know, the technology. In our discussion, going back from when I first started, 1970s to now, is just. I have like 5 computers in this car. It's just stupid, all the stuff that's available now, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever imagined what we have at our fingertips now, the data that we have to work with that wasn't even on anybody's dream list back then, you know?
Right.
You know, the coolest thing we had back then was a videotape recorder. That's about the hit, you know, to watch the gauges and stuff.
Yep.
And Scott, yes, I forgot the story about the manometer. He wanted me to tell the story about Rick Merriman's car and the homemade manometer we put in it back at Mocan. Back then, it's probably 2006 or so. We got in this big discussion. In fact, Mike Peters was in on it. What the high pressure area was on the front of a car, and you can read all kinds of shit on the internet about, you know, base of the windshield, yada yada yada. So I went and made a homemade manometer. It was, you know, some vinyl tubing, some colored water, and we left the inside on the inside the car, and the outside we tried it at different places in the front of the car. Well, our first place was and we put a video camera to record the manometer, see what the measurement was. The first place was the base of the windshield, and we had hardly any air pressure change. And I think we tried it maybe under the hood. Then we put it in the grill, and it blew all the colored water out of the car all over the inside of the car. It had so much pressure in the grill. So that kind of proved that discussion.
Wow.
So see, Scott, I told it. Okay.
You told it.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, you got anything, Rod?
No, great. Thanks for coming on again, John, and hanging with us for a few hours. And, you know, great pictures and great stories when you got started. And glad we got to race a few times. And
What's that say? How much nitrous are you giving your LS? All of it, and it's in pieces.
That's Devin messaged that motor picture.
Oh, that's it, huh?
Engine from Denton.
Holy cow!
Yeah, it was top fuel explosion level.
Oh, man. Wow.
Bad one. Well, thanks,
Yeah.
guys. I appreciate it. It was fun.
All right.
Yes, sir.
You have a good night.
Hope to see you guys at the race again soon.
You will, John. Thank you for your time tonight, and thanks for your awesome, fun stories.
Thanks.
All right. See you, John. Bye.
See you. Bye.
Man, Rodney, that was awesome.
Oh man, a lot of good stuff there. He's a great guy altogether.
We say it every week. That was awesome. But it was. Man.
No doubt. No.
What do we got here?
Troy, he must have been sleeping.
Good job, Gary. No bathroom stop. Yes, I had a bathroom stop just a little over an hour in.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. Gary ain't gonna go on without a bathroom stop.
Golly. Get to that hour mark and it's time.
Yeah. All right.
Yes,
All
sir.
right,
Man, it's our longest one, dude. Man.
Yeah.
John had good stuff. Holy cow.
Well, we got him in late.
Yeah. We're gonna get through the week. We're gonna take Friday and we're gonna go on a little trip.
Yep.
We're gonna go do some racing.
Yep. Back to Odessa.
We're gonna get some good stuff from Flying H again. And safe to say that'll be next week's Sunday night show is what was happening at Flying H, right?
Heck yeah.
Good.
Heck yeah. Let's do it.
Yep, that'll be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So this will be our third or fourth trip. That'll be our third trip.
Yeah.
Right.
Flying H. Yeah.
Yep. Good. Cool place. We're locked in.
Excited to see the upgrades with the asphalt on the second tier, third tier. See what's going on. Check out, hang out with Blake, hang out with Scott. Have a good time.
Yep. It'd be cool. Probably see some different cars too. So we'll see some different people, different cars. And like I said, I'm not going to watch you. I'm going to watch the other the other cars in that limited class.
I hope you do something productive.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll try to. I'll make you a sandwich or something.
Oh my goodness.
That's good, isn't it? Got to keep you fed. Make you a sandwich.
I know, right?
Come on.
You gonna bring your booty shorts again?
Maybe. If they're requested, maybe. Come on.
Woo!
What do I need to put like a?
Was Troy on when you had the booty shorts on?
Man, I don't know. I need to get like a. Do I need to get like a Folgers can at the end of your trailer for some tips? You know, drop some ones in the Folgers can. But that'll be leave them on. Leave your shorts on.
Oh yeah, leave them on. Right. Whoa! Stop!
Oh, come on! Put your shorts back on. Yeah. Well, I hope you thought that was as funny as I did.
Oh, absolutely! That was about ready to fall out my chair.
Oh, I was about to take my shorts off at Arby's just to tell you about it.
Yeah.
This is what I'm gonna do.
Pretty kids around for that one. You know,
would have spoiled it.
My goodness.
Troy says I still can't see straight. Probably why I missed the bathroom break. Well. All right, we're 2 hours and 33 minutes into this. We only got 10 people watching. We better shut her down.
You ready?
No, not yet. Hang on. Let me get there. Dun, 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 dun. All right, ready?
Ready.
Let's get it. Right on, brother.
Good job, Gary.
Oh, man, John was great. Yeah. Thanks, Rod.
Right.
I'm going to bed.
All right. Have a good week.
And we'll see you later. Everybody, thanks for watching. Come back next week. We're going to have another good time. Goodbye.